What is going on, folks? Welcome back to Port Priority 8. It is day 2. That means we're kicking things off with the upper bracket. It is top 128 time right out of the gate. It is going to be set after set of some of the best players in the entire world because this tournament is stacked, and it is a joy to get to talk about it here with you. I'm Kimona. That is, of course, Charles, who you just saw up here, in fact.
For the roundtable, we're doing some bracket prediction. If you guys missed out on that, you can go watch it. But you might want to get right into the bracket right now. And to start things off on the mainstream, so we're doing top 128. This tournament's very stacked. Top 10 players in the world, all in attendance here. Just to give you an idea of how top-heavy this tournament is. And there's also many, many more talented players within the top rank, 100 rank in this tournament as well. We're going to start things off with rank 1 player in Seattle. Of course, we got to have the hometown hero, all right?
Of course, and on satellite as well, right? Like on the hometown stream. You're, of course, talking about JDV.
Yes,
yes. I mean, has been on the come up, for, like, I wouldn't say, like, just recently, but definitely had that breakout performance at Battle of BC. I believe beat Ken, you were saying earlier,
on
right?
The quad stream, beat Ken in a matchup where, I mean, you would assume most Japanese players would do really well into JDV because JDV plays Pac-Man, right? And of course they have T, who is the highest ranking Pac-Man player in the world. I know T has been dipping into other characters like Kazuya, dipping into a little bit of the darkness. You gotta do what you gotta do to win, right? But yeah, so we'll see how this matchup pans out. You can't really just count JDV out just because Asimo has that T experience, right? Because Ken also had that T experience, and we saw how that went down at Battle of BC 5. And, of course, I would give this matchup, I'd give it to Pac-Man.
I think I would, too. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who needs to mostly get close. I mean, Ryu has a way better fireball game than Ken does. I mean, that dates back to Street Fighter at least a little bit, but especially in this game, I mean, that Shakunetsu is... it does so much damage. I'm pretty sure it can even take out the Hydrant in just one, as long as you're actually connecting all of the multi-hits.
Right.
It is an indispensable tool. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to get a lot of damage, you do have to get up close. And even once you do that, that's no guarantee because Pac-Man has the tools to kind of scrap in those situations as well.
Yeah, and Asimo has shown many times in Japan that even though he's playing Ryu, he can play the patient game, slowly walk up to his opponents, get these parries off or just get the shields off and slowly inch his way through the neutral and find those up-close scenarios, right? So even though Asimo has to fight a bunch of different types of zoners in Japan, still has incredible results, and Japan is the strongest region in the world right now. So we'll see if that transfers over to this tournament, and I'm really interested I mean, we have complete global attendance here at Port Priority 8. So I'm just really interested to see, too, how many Japanese players make it into the top 32, how much European players, how much NA players, right? So really, really going to be a fun watch here, and it's all going to start off with this first match.
Yeah, and we're it looks like we're waiting on one of our players, I believe JDV, to get back up to the stage. But, that does give us a little bit of time to consider, right? Like what you're talking about, it's a question as to what sort of the balance is going to look like in the top bracket because pretty much, I mean, every region is kind of sending their best. I mean, EU has got Gluto, you just saw. I mean, Tarek, obviously. You've got Siski. You've got all those guys from Europe. Obviously, Japan has sent not only their best, but a lot of the people that really give that region depth. I mean, to what you're saying, strongest region in the world right now. And I think that speaks not only to the fact that they're occupying the top spot in the rankings in Akola, but also the fact that, I mean, Japan goes so deep. You can ask anybody who's gone over there to compete from another region, and they say, I'm fighting for my life in Winners Round 2, and I'm normally running tournaments at home. But, I mean, you got guys speaking to that depth as well.
Yeah, and I think even in previous iterations of Smash Brothers, a lot of people regarded Japan as the region with the highest floor, right? If you're going 1-2 or 2-2 in Japan, it doesn't matter because the 1-2s and the 2-2ers over there are nice. They're doing footstool combos, right? I mean, that was always a thing in the previous iterations of Smash. So yeah, that still holds true in Ultimate. I do think that region has still the highest floor, but now they also have the highest ceiling.
The highest ceiling as well.
It's just crazy because even when you think about the top 3 ranks, now Mia and Spargo, you can kind of interchange them between 2 and 3, but at the end of the day, 2 out of the 3 highest spots in the world rankings are taken up by Japanese players, right?
And to what you're talking about, I mean, that's the ceiling too. I mean, in the floor, when I was still doing PG stats videos, doing those recaps and everything, every time there was a Japanese tournament, I was like, I'm going to have to learn some new names because there was always somebody getting like an upset factor 7 win and, round 3 and suddenly Proto has to make a 13-set losers run at, some big tournament. But Ashimo is not one of those unknown names, and that is the member of Team Japan that is going to be taking the stage here against JDV, part of Team Pacific Northwest, like you were mentioning earlier, hometown region, #1 from Seattle as well. So let's get into it.
Yeah, shout out to PNW, man, putting on some fantastic tournaments. We got Port and also Battle of BC that happened earlier, a premiere of Yoshidora, and this tournament also going to be the premiere of Kanenabe and Hurt. So keep your eyes out for those players as we get into this first set here. Already, a lot of damage, just kind of trading back and forth here. No one getting too much momentum, maybe just feeling each other out.
I mean, I think that's what you see at the top level as well, is that things are going to start off pretty slow. Most of the time, people aren't just going to try to start throwing haymakers unless they're people that play all the time. But when you're talking about people, in a matchup like this where neither of these guys have played against each other in bracket before, yeah, it's going to start out slow. Part of that's the matchup, but most of that, I think, is that you want to figure out what is the primary sort of thing that my opponent wants to center their game plan around.
Yeah, the main thing I want to think about is just how is Asimo going to get through this hydrant here? See the high fireballs getting thrown out here. And of course, the great thing about FGC characters, most of them can cancel off of going into their normals. As I say that, the up air has 2 hits, but Asimo right there canceling that first hit into the Shoryuken, going to get the first KO and get the lead here.
I mean, if you ever watched Ashimo before, especially if you watched that set against Konga yesterday, you know that is the bread and butter for Ashimo, right? Like, you think that you're safe from Ryu in the air, you're afraid because if he starts connecting those normals on the ground like you're talking about, you can cancel that into big damage very, very quickly. But you're not safe up in the air either because that up air has a very generous hitbox, and like you mentioned, it can cancel into a confirm very quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that can also work on the hydrant. We see these FGC characters do that against Steve blocks as well, right? So maybe this matchup not as bad as we think. Maybe it's just not as surface level as like, oh, floaty zoner equals beats Ryu, right?
Right,
We could see a ton of stuff. I know Asimo going in the down smash into the Hadouken there. The down smash alone, all you need to do is about 13 to 14 damage to that hydrant. Obviously, the scaling and stuff will account for that, but Asimo doing a great job against this hydrant so far.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing, too, is that if you take it, oh my gosh, never mind. I was going to talk more about the fire hydrant, but Ashimo is, he's dousing the flame a little bit right now. Gets that full first stock lead, has JDV down to the last one, and, Pac-Man does have that comeback potential, but I think that he does sometimes really struggle when he doesn't necessarily have the pace of the game and he has to start really taking initiative.
Yeah, I mean, not the best approaching tools. You got solid aerials, right? Nair, fair, all kind of single hit. We'll see how JDV also applies the pressure to the focus, right? Right there, that neutral B going to be very, very good for the combo starters, and of course trying to get up to that bell. The bell did connect earlier on that first stock, but wasn't able to get that smash attack. We'll see how JDV is able to capitalize off this bell, what kind of tricks he's got. Hits into the bell, but not going to be quite enough. 151% on Asimo.
Yeah, this is where it starts to get a little bit scary for Pac-Man sometimes. You don't necessarily have, like, super easy confirms, but when you have that amount of tricks, right, especially against a less mobile character, you don't have to worry as much, right? Pac-Man does have some of that I kill you eventually potential, especially with the bonus fruit in mind, and trying to take advantage of it there to get things started. Great TI out of those combos as well. Ashimo not really going to get a big bang for his buck there.
And you see that, this is the classic coming out from, oh, big damage. Woo. And just like that, JDV with a huge lead was down an entire stock. What happened?
It's crazy that all starts just off of tossing that Galaxian and getting it in that sweet spot right at the beginning. JDV is able to rack up, like you said, 90%. I know that's a normal combo from Pac-Man, but still, that Ryu suddenly at 90. The water, I think, definitely saving JDV's life there.
Yeah, the water definitely saving a lot, at least a lot of damage, if not the game, if not the stock here. There's the parry, not going to be able to get the bell, but here's the Hydrant going a little bit aggressive. No, going back, going to charge up the bonus fruit. Okay, little funky situation here, but both in disengaging, and Ryu with a lot of rage. Oh, the up B.
Miss input perhaps, didn't maybe get the DP motion. Now Ashimo's got the bell, but JDV knows the counterplay, but the jabs into the Shoryu. Ashimo says, I may have dropped the input one time. I am definitely not dropping it a second. Game one goes down to the wire, but it is Ashimo coming out on top.
Yeah, and that's the thing about Ryu. This character hits like a truck and has a lot of weight as well. So you're able to maintain that rage and get that one opening. Pac-Man, not going to be the heaviest of characters. Does have a decent amount of durability, but just Ryu confirming into such powerful moves like that true input Shoryuken, which if you do it the old school way. You actually get a little bonus knockback, right?
Right, yeah, using the motion controls. Sakurai was all over that. He talked about that in one of his game design videos. He's like, the Shoryuken input is one of the best things that's ever been designed in gaming, and that's why I put it in Smash. And oh my gosh. I think that Ashimo needed the correct SDI to get out of that down air and save his life, quite frankly, because that move is Altoids, curiously strong.
Oh, yeah, and of course, I mean, JDV was drifting to the right as well. That might have gotten the KO or just sent Asimo so far. We know that Ryu doesn't have the best recovery. We'll see if JDV actually takes advantage of that. Pac-Man definitely has an offstage game that you have to respect, right? The down air, even things just like the fair hitting you off so you can't even make it back to stage. That is going to be a possibility in this matchup.
Mm-hmm. I think one of the things that's strange about that in terms of this matchup, though, is that unless JDV has something like the situation we saw earlier, a big combo starter, Pac-Man isn't always going to commit to going off stage because he'd really rather just have some oppressive ledge trapping. You definitely don't want the Ryu to have you sitting at the ledge and let him just, like you said, he's a powerhouse. You know, he connects one of those down tilts, one of those jabs. We'll see the game end just the way we saw that game one end.
Okay, the strawberry, not going to be able to get the 2-frame. Cherry on top, not going to be enough. Going to retreat back to the Hydrant. Doesn't take too much of a punish, but the Hydrant instantly getting disengaged here. Trampoline still online, but now it gets destroyed.
Ashimo doesn't even want that to be a factor, but JDV knows, all right, you shield that first hit of the Tatsumaki, you will not be getting hit by it a second time. That hitbox deactivates, and you can just charge up that down smash. Does take the lead here. The question is, will he be able to continue it? Answer is no, because Ashimo stray hits equal death.
Asimo is just so clean, man. You rarely see the drop coming out from Asimo, and when you play a character like this that's very combo-orientated, to get the damage, get the KOs, you've got to have that on lock.
Now we'll see if Asimo can fire back and try to take the lead here. Sitting at just a modest 50% again. We've seen that Pac-Man can do so much damage. Go in the trampoline.
Oh, man, JDV got like so many setups here.
That was like something out of the Naked Gun.
Yeah.
Like that was something that would happen to like Leslie Nielsen's character. Just he gets shoved back into a trampoline, bounce up to the second floor.
Yeah, and it doesn't do any damage or anything.
No,
like,
nothing.
Okay,
it's just an inconvenience. It's like, I don't understand your tactics.
Just another obstacle here that Asimo has to get through to get to JDV, to get his hands dirty. Another grab here. And we even saw JDV get some anti-air grabs as well. That grab very active here, backing up with the focus. Going to get a bunch of that bonus fruit charge here. Oh, the ledge jump there is so quick.
Yeah, JDV's decision-making has been really great, but I think that one of the things that we are seeing shine the most in this match is just how well Ashimo has trained in this matchup. I mean, not getting caught off guard by any bonus fruits, actually having direct counterplay to a lot of these situations. JDV said, I sent you to the second floor, I will go to the third.
Oh, yeah, if only there was a top platform like that, we could have gone all the way up.
Actual escape zone.
Okay, looks like all the bonus fruit getting charged up. Now Asimo getting to the point where
you're
Bell...
dead.
Oh! Wow, goes into the fireball there. Maybe not enough damage. Asimo just wanted to tack on a little bit more, but there was the max rage online, right?
Yeah, like with that amount of rage, I would expect Ryu to be able to take the KO. Great DI by Ashimo, but yeah, just maybe not able to find a connection. There we've seen Asimo do that a couple of times already. Catch that bell coming off of ledge, has the timing. I think the real question next time that situation happens is whether JDV is going to have the counterplay ready. Maybe a back air in that situation where Asimo goes to catch the bell.
Way.
Oh my goodness.
That back air almost did it. Oh, the apple. Okay, not going to be enough. Not going to go high here. Asimo gets the ledge trump, tries to get the back air corner pressure, but that is going to be enough. With the Tatsu confirmed there, you don't have a lot of space. Maybe center stage or the right side of stage, you would have had a little bit more room to DI there, but JDV still not going to be able to get the stock. Finally, the apple connects. I'm surprised we didn't see JDV go for some of the keys. I know when you have the bell, you can get those really early-ish KOs at around like maybe 100, 130, right? But when Asimo's at around 150, 160, the key will definitely do the trick here.
Yeah, you would think so. I mean, again, even though Ryu's a really heavy character, and that's one of the things that I think has been giving JDV a lot of struggle is that Asimo's defense has been so good, it's been really hard to find the openings that are going to open up those kills. And to that extent, I mean, the reason...
Oh, the focus to break the combo. That's a frame one option and just making sure you're not getting multi-hit. What's going on right now?
Once again, Asimo just the most brilliant Pac-Man counterplay. Like, he asked T for the scrolls, and he got all of the 10 commandments.
Maybe the 11th one, too, the DLC one.
Yeah, the DLC 10 commandments. God dropped a new one on us. Oh, JD committing to the jabs, though. Able to fight out of the corner, but once again, we see here Asimo, 129%, loads of rage. The question is going to be, can JDV find a KO, drops the bell, and the forward smash does connect, and the PNW crowd gives a hearty woo!
Man, and that game, I was just like, please don't have another situation where Asimo gets to 200%.
Right.
Because like you pointed out, you think that Asimo's strength when you watch him is the offense, right? Just whenever he gets a conversion, he's so clean, he converts into those KOs time and time again. But how many times did he live past 150, right? Like you said, the defense is what gives Asimo's those chances to get the offense going. And again, being from the region of Japan, they are known for their defensive play. So Asimo has to be able to have that defense through all these zoners and be able to get into those situations where he can find those combos, right?
And that's what's impressive about the defensive play, is that it's not that it's defensive play that's taking control of the pace of the match or anything. I mean, a lot of this is so responsive to what JDV is doing, because it's hard to control the pace of a match as Ryu against Pac-Man. Like, he's the one that's going to be setting the tempo most of the time. Ryu's going to be the responder. I know that Sajam talks about this all the time, and he's talking about formulating game plans, but I think Asimo has recognized, right, that, okay, if I'm going to be the responder in this matchup, I need to be able to stay alive for a very long time, and I need to play the counterplay against stuff like the bonus fruits and the fire hydrants perfectly, and thus far he pretty much has.
Okay, so here it is, the forward air just tacking on a bit of damage here. One Hollow Bastion, great counter pick coming out from JDV. So, I mean, a lot for these zoners, right? Center stage is so powerful on stages with a platform right at the center. Smashville, Hollow Bastion, you're just able to set up and really force your opponent underneath the platform, because you can't do aerials and fall through the platform. You have to wait till you go through the platform. Oh, but that back air, another really early KO. And a lot of the times, I mean, last game we saw JDV with the lead. Now this time Asimo with the lead here. And that's going to be so important against zoners, right? Whoever gets that early lead can really just, you don't really have to approach now. If you're Asimo, you can kind of sit back.
I mean, that's exactly what we saw in the first game, right? Is that Asimo got out to the early lead. And I think one of us mentioned it. I don't actually remember who it was because my memory is terrible. But one of us mentioned the fact that, like, JDV was playing from behind. And it's kind of tough to do that as Pac-Man. But JDV finding that forward smash right there, playing around the hydrant, and definitely, right, the game plan started off simple, you know, started off a little bit slower between these two players, but now they're really starting to mix in a lot of different elements of their gameplay on both ends.
Yeah, and we saw Asimo actually go for that down smash, which has been so good against the hydrant, but we saw JDV instantly get the stock, that first stock, with the forward smash of his own to counterplay, because the only thing you can do after that is attack with a special move, right? So JDV's like, hey, if you're going to go for these down smashes on hydrant, they're not going to be free every single time. You can't just disarm my hydrant and throw a Hadouken and make it your turn. I also can just throw my forward smash and hit you for it.
And your you know, whatever comes after, whatever that special move is, it's not beating Inky or Blinky.
Yeah, I mean,
it's one of the two.
One of them.
I know it's not Pinky, and I know it's not Clyde. And I know that second stock is no longer available to JDV, because, once again, Asimo, right, you just connect one of those normals at that 100+% and you're gone. But so, too, is Asimo's second stock. It is dead even going into the turning point of the middle of the set. Tied up 1-1 in Game 3. This is a very pivotal game to win.
Yeah, and you already know, it's Port Priority 8. We're in top 128, so you expect it to be best of 5, but this entire tournament has been best of 5, and this entire tournament has just had banger after banger. We're going to open up with one, too.
It is already what we were seeing, but question now is going to be who takes this next stock, and especially, I think, how is it going to happen? Because I don't know how many cards either of these two players have left to play. I think it's all about the order in which they do them and really being able to recognize how their opponent is responding to things at this point, because I don't think that there's really anything left to hide.
Beautiful air dodge here, and yeah, especially coming into this last stock, Game 3, a very pivotal game when it comes to momentum, right? You're going to have that counter pick going into Game 5 if it does go into that Game 5, and we already see the counter picks being very important. Goes for the shield break there because it's not far enough for the conversion, the Tatsu, but the push off from the Hydra going to reset neutral here. No, JDV actually swings his way back on the stage.
Does not want to commit to charging up that bonus fruit either, wants to keep that ledge trap going at all costs, but now, like you're talking about, that center platform with the hydrant as well, right? JDV's able to sit behind all of that to keep things alive here, but Asimo climbing in that percent. It only takes a stray hit, and even the cavernous blast zones of Hollow Bastion are not enough to save JDV. Asimo continues to hold on to the momentum in this set and goes up 2-1.
Yeah, and most Pac-Man players, after throwing down that hydrant, kind of feeling a little safe to go for a charge on the bonus fruit there. Asimo catching JDV sleeping on the option of the back here. We saw the call out with the full hop roar there. incredible stuff coming out from Asimo. Now has the lead 2-1. We'll see if JDV can bring this to a Game 5 set. And man, I want to see the Game 5. Opening up the stream, opening up day 2 with the Game 5 here with Rank 1 Seattle, the hometown hero, if you will, right?
That's a heck of a way to wake up the crowd, too, right? It's like, hey, everybody, I hope that you're awake here at 10 a.m. West Coast time. I know it's a little early for everybody over here. Also, good afternoon to everybody on the East Coast. But, if everybody in the crowd can start saying, oh, hey, like literally first match of the day and our guy is taking Asimo to the brink, that would be great. But for right now, Game 4 is going to small battlefield. JDV maybe looking to scrap or maybe to sort of even take more control of the game, force Asimo to commit in more particular situations, especially given that that's exactly how that last game ended. Asimo picking up on a jump habit right there from JDV. Maybe JDV is going to be able to kind of do the same on a smaller venue.
Yeah, and I mean, we saw Hollow Bastion, very strong stage for these zoner types, right? But JDV opting to leave Hollow Bastion and come here to small battlefield.
Yeah, which again, like surprising to me, but I think that does speak more to, I think, the game plan that you go in with, right? That I think that JDV has to really commit to that. Asimo, though, committing to that Shoryuken without getting the proper hit confirmed. Once again, reading the jump behind that fire hydrant. So that's something that I think we're going to see a little bit more over the course of this set. Does finally commit to that Shoryu off of the hit confirm. 2 stocks apiece.
Ooh, the grab, no, goes for the jab there. And I like the way Asimo even set that situation up. Goes into the ledge trump. JDV does a great job reacting to the ledge trump. Goes for normal getup, but Asimo just follows right behind. Forces that close-up scenario right by the ledge. And guess what? You got the auto turnaround with these FGC characters. So it doesn't matter what side, Asimo is able to get the confirm.
Press a button, it's going to go in the right direction, more or less. That's going to be big damage off of the Shakunetsu, forcing JDV to burn that air dodge, go down to ledge with a safe recovery, but it just gives Asimo another opportunity for a ledge trap, and he does not pick up what he puts down, or rather does not drop what he puts down. He is able to pick up that combo and bring JDV to potentially winner's bracket stock.
Okay, here's the bell setup, and look at how many times Asimo has swung at the bell. So much players, especially year 1, year 2 of Ultimate, kind of just over-respected the bell. But hey, guess what? It's Ultimate. You can mash it out.
You can just get rid of all that. It's still, JDV has got to find a confirm and quickly because, again, when Asimo starts getting the momentum, and unfortunately blocked by the fire hydrant right there, but again, this is what I'm talking about. When Asimo gets the momentum, when you're on the back foot, especially as a character like Pac-Man, things can fall away very, very quickly. I love the quick escape by JDV there.
I'm out. And I mean, so many times Asimo has forced this corner situation, which has been so much in his favor, whether it's from a ledge trap or whether it's just cornering JDV. He's gotten so much out of it. Catching the roll, and is it going to be enough? You should be fine. You have a lot of stage to work with, but you're taking so much damage. And another back air. Asimo closes it out 3-1 versus JDV.
Really, really solid stuff from Asimo, and I think, like we were talking about, right, at a certain point, everybody's shown all their cards. There's really nothing left to hide, and at that point, it's about really paying attention to the player. You're confident about playing against the character, and I think what it came down to is that stock after stock, especially in those last 2 games, Asimo was just reading these double jumps and everything with these back airs, right? Catching JDV, trying to create some distance by going into the air rather than using the ground space, and just making big call-outs, and ended up taking a ton of stocks with those reads.
Yeah, and I mean, JDV tried to switch it up as well going into Game 4. Didn't go as well as Game 3, obviously. A bit of hindsight there, but maybe something JDV can keep into account when going up against Asimo for the next time, or just even into this matchup. It was just really rough because I just feel like JDV had to close out the Game 3. He had to do, and he had the lead in Game 3 too, but that call out was just so nice coming out from Asimo. And then the snowball effect happened, and these corner situations, Asimo created so much up-close boxing scrambles on the left and right sides of the stage.
Yeah, that was another thing I think that Asimo did really well, was just recognizing all those moments where JDV was like, okay, I'm going to back off, I'm going to create some space and give myself a little bit of time to get things set up. And Asimo was like, no, I'm not just going to let you do that. I know you have a hydrant and everything, but I can still be close enough to threaten you where you can't charge bonus fruit, all that kind of stuff. And, I mean, like you're saying, I think that was a really defining factor in that match.
Yeah, and I mean, just the way in terms of characters that have tools to disarm Hydrant, maybe this matchup's not as bad as we think. Maybe it's not just, Floaty Zoner beats Ryu, right? Just because the Ryu might not have the speed, but he definitely has the firepower to take out those Hydrants, and you can special cancel. And also, one thing I thought of as well, we saw Asimo go for it like once or twice, but even after the down smash on the hydrant, you can go into focus, right? So you do have a defensive special you can go into as well if you feel like a smash attack is going to come afterwards or something like that, right? So great adaptation coming from Asimo, really showcasing the tools of Ryu, and that's the funnest thing about watching these character specialists, right? You really get to see the entire toolbox against this wide variety of the cast that is Smash Ultimate.
I mean, that's what you get to see when you get to the top level, right? Is that you watch high-level players, they're usually very good at, you know, I have 1 or 2 game plans and I'm going to stick to them, and I am really, really good at executing them. But when you get to the very, very, very top level of the game, people are going to be as deep into a character as possible. They're going to be using every single tool, and it's most of the time because the other top players are going to be pushing them to have to use all of those tools.
Yeah, and we saw great counterplay coming out from JDV, the forward smash on the down smash, on the hydrant there from Asimo, able to get the punish, get the KO off of that. But JDV still in the tournament, still can make the losers bracket run. The hometown hero going to try to get as far as possible in this tournament. Got quite the invasion, just like the invasion for Battle of BC, another global tournament. As you can see, amazing players, of course, in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Support all the PNW tournaments you can. And of course, going to the other coast, we got Collision 2024, Heroes and Villains, March 15th through 17th. Be sure to register at start.gg/collision. Of course, we're going to be in New Jersey.
Yeah,
like
Parsippany, New Jersey. And look, there's really not that much difference between New Jersey and New York. I think that people from there will tell you that there is. But, I mean, look, it's still going to be a great place to go. A Collision,
of course.
That's a team that I think that everybody can rally behind. RJ and all those guys are the best. But the folks over in Bloomington, Indiana that host Full Bloom are also some people you want to go support, and it is not a tournament you want to miss. It is an absolutely historic venue. It's going to be happening in February of 2024. You can catch all the details over at start.gg/fullbloom, and you might as well get signed up before the year end, because once the clock ticks over to 2024, you're going to be out of main registration. Things are going to start costing a little more, but you should do it now because you're going to want to go there anyways.
Absolutely. And of course, Luminosity making some big moves up in New York. Be sure to use the code YUR for $5 off. YUR coming through start.gg/LMBM. So that's going to be another. And they already made their stop in Miami as well. So Luminosity making many moves this year.
Yes. Luminosity has been making quite a few moves, if I do say so. And you can move over to the 8 Ports shop. That was a terrible segue, but you should go ahead and get in there because there is a lot of good stuff in there, especially these jerseys. If you want to represent your region, pick one up. I said this yesterday. I'm such a big fan of the Team LATAM jerseys. I'm not even from Latin America, but they look so good. You got to go in that shop. You got to go grab one. And they come in different varieties as well. So, you know, pick the style that suits you.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why you're having such a great time watching all the different tournament matches here at Port Priority, yes, it's stacked, but you also have to have a stacked production crew. Tempest always bringing in the heat here, doing many, many things here. High quality broadcast, pioneering formats, and partnered with the teams you trust. Make sure to check out Tempest on Twitter. You can email them as well if you need a fantastic production crew at your event.
Yeah, I mean, they do a great job. Also, one of the reasons normally that a quad stream is able to be run, which we've had over the course of the weekend, over on the BTS stream, which you guys should also have up if you don't want to miss any action. There are like so many streams. I know that we have like multiple different foreign language restreams as well.
Yeah.
I think EE has a stream going as well.
Yeah, EE does have a side stream going as well, getting his HBox on, if you will.
Yeah, that's the vibe I would ascribe to that. So you can check that out if you want. But of course, you are watching us here at Port Priority 8 on Satellite Smash, the home of all things Pacific Northwest Smash. And it's great to be here because this is easily one of the most stacked events of the year. You can tell because it's a P-tier tournament, but I mean, the vibes are just immaculate. This is one of the best crowds I've ever seen at a tournament. PNW really shows up for their boys, but even just for exciting sets in general, people are just all over it.
Everyone in the venue just loves Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, and we want to see the highest level, and we want to see who's going to be able to win this tournament because, I mean, again, 10 out of 10 when it comes to the best players in the world. So all top 10 players in the world in attendance for this tournament and many other talented folks as well. And on top of that, I got to say, new venue for Port Priority, and I love it.
It's great.
It was a 3-minute drive away from the airport. Me and E took an Uber and we're like, damn, we could walk.
No, literally, it's a walk. Because I mean,
you could
if
just
you
walk from the airport.
Because what I did is that I'm staying at my sister's place, so I took the light rail over there, and now I'm borrowing her car and everything. But if you walk to the light rail station that's at the airport, I was standing on the platform and I looked over and I was like, that's the venue right there. Like
Yep.
I just literally walked from
you
the
got the high
airport
ground,
to the
huh?
venue. Yeah, literally, I have the high ground. It's over. I was looking down on it. I was like, I could go in there and watch the soccer matches or whatever, but.
Yeah, and on top of that, there's a light rail station, very like walking distance from the venue, like a 5-minute walk, and you could just take it right into the main city or all the different cities and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So we did that the couple nights ago on Friday. So really sick. Having that access to the public transportation to go into the city, fantastic. Being close to the airport, fantastic. Port priority, checking a lot of check marks off the list.
Yeah, you can go where you want to go, and if you just want to be in the venue as well, I mean, there are so many setups. Like, there are just so many setups everywhere all the time here, and especially today on Sunday, you want to know how many they took down because, it's top 128. They didn't take down any of them.
Dang.
All the setups are still over there, and people can continue playing Super Smash Brothers.
For
like
the
you said.
people.
For the people. For the people. And we've got a match for the people. Boy, do we
Dang.
ever have a match for the people. Light versus Shattuck. Two of, I think, the consensus favorite players of people in general, right?
Yeah.
Light being the self-proclaimed and also people-proclaimed protagonist of Smash. And Shattuck has recently been that as well, the young gun that, he's been on the rise for a while. We like to say that, but, I mean, he got a PR win when he was like 12 at Low Tier City 7, and now he's here and he's like a top 20 player in the world.
Yeah,
uncontested.
Another Super Smash Brothers prodigy hailing from Texas. And Shattuck has been on quite the tear as of recently. I believe the last 3 to 4 tournaments he's been to, top 8.
Yeah,
Not an easy
top
thing to
4.
do. And
Just a
top
couple
4
weeks
at
ago.
Miami. Top
Yeah.
4 at Miami. So, excuse me, Shattuck, top 8 and also top 4 at Miami. I mean, just kid has an incredible resume. And really, along with Nao, putting Corrin on the map, right? I mean, Corrin, a character, there's a ton of good sword characters in Ultimate. If your character's got a sword, probably good in Ultimate, right? But
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of people would have put Corrin as a top-tier swordie. But as of recently, we've seen a lot of great results coming out from Corrin. I mean, even thinking back to the Delfino Mazza Invitational, we saw Leo kind of throwing out the Corrin back then, right, a couple years back.
Even back to the G4 Invitational. I think that was
Yeah.
like the first time that we saw that. He played against like Larry Lurr with that.
Right.
But yeah, Shattuck for sure. He and Nao have been putting that character on the map in a way that, I mean, this character got a lot of buffs. Which sometimes I think
Corrin needed help. Yeah.
We forget about like the balance changes in this game sometimes because we're a few years removed from that at this point. But like at least I personally do, because sometimes I'm like, yeah, why haven't people been playing Corrin? And then I look at the patch notes and I'm like, oh, that's right.
Yes, if you got that friend, and trust me, I've heard this many times, where it's just like, yo, I knew from day one Corrin was broken. It's like, yo,
then you were stupid.
Yeah, there was bugs. I hate it when people do that. It's like totally yo, from day one I knew Corrin was crazy. It's
The
like,
word-
hey, yo.
The word I hate the most when people talk about characters is potential. It's like whenever, dude,
I'm a
I
potential
heard,
spammer.
I heard that enough with Peach and Shulk in Smash 4 that the moment like we went into Smash Ultimate and I was like, I think Yoshi he could be pretty good. I think that he could be not bad. He has a lot of good tools or whatever. But I was like, I had to stop myself because literally until the end of days in Smash 4, people were like, no, I promise, Shulk can be really good though.
Yeah,
He has potential.
You gotta make. We should make a potential tier list. Shulk would definitely be number 1
Literally
on the
number
potential
1.
tier list. Yes.
Don't let Ramses in the call.
Yes. And I
Because he'd be like, potential, what are you talking about? He's already...
he's already amazing.
already that
He's already
good.
amazing. And it's funny to me because I am omega guilty of spamming the word potential.
Oh, yeah?
I spam that word so much.
I mean,
it's just so hard because this game is the most balanced Smash game by far. Right?
Not only is it really balanced, but you also have so many characters that it's impossible to say that any of them have been fully explored, even 5 years into this game being released, right? So, I mean, like, I get the idea, for sure. I mean, you want to say, like, hey, I think that this character can do really results. It just takes, like, a character specialist, right? And that has been what it's taken for Corrin. You've got 2 people who really specialize in Corrin, pushing her to where she is. And Light as well being one of the character specialists for Fox, being one of the reasons that he's I'm commentating Fox with Charles, I just realized. So this is going to be wonderful.
You already know. And I mean, this matchup, is pretty bad for Corrin. It's not, I mean, in Smash 4, it was one of the tougher ones, probably one of the harder, like Cloud and Fox were pretty good against Corrin. But even in this game, just the idea, Fox can do very well against Swordies. You just want to get up close really quick, and Corrin doesn't really like that.
No, I mean, she definitely wants to be, I mean, we talked about controlling the pace, right? I think that, you know, she's not necessarily going to be breaking down walls, right? But she is sort of a slowly advancing wall that will kind of take the pace of the game from you. Light right now, though, says, all of these aerials, predictable. I'm parrying every single one of them. Did not find a punish, though, and Shattuck finally able to get something started, but Light is one of those guys that is never going to drop that tech chase when he is playing on, and right now it looks like he's on.
Yeah, and the jab OS to get the miss tech as well. So you just throw out that single jab. If your opponent misses the tech, you get the jab block into up smash. And you have enough time after the jab cooldown to just go for the tech chase at that. So just great stuff coming out from Light, getting this early lead. Now, we've seen Shattuck take Light to game 4 or 5 at Big House, I believe. And, you know, the big thing is, biggest weakness of Fox, obviously off stage, right? Can Shattuck get these edge guards?
That is the concern, though, is am I going to be able to get Fox off stage? Good wherewithal by Shattuck to hold on to the jump, but Light continuing to put that pressure on. Love that forward air to just say, get off me, give me some chance to get back to the ledge. I'll let you do that ledge trapping because I kind of have to hold that, but Light right now, I mean, he is not dropping any combos either. I think that's one of the big things to watch out for is that his damage output, sometimes when he's not on, it can kind of suffer a little bit, and he's not necessarily letting those percents climb super quickly, but they certainly are climbing right now. Somehow, though, Shattuck connecting that up B, Light mistiming that ledge trump a little bit, untechable. Stocks go even, but percents are not.
Yeah, Light getting a little too feisty off stage there. I mean, there was no double jump, so trying to go for the back air, trying to space the back air above Corrin. Right above Corrin's head, there is no hitbox, so you can slide through if you're really accurate and you're feeling really confident. But up air, not as hard to land, so on that platform there, Light going to close that one out, use the illusion because most people aren't shielding in that situation. Most people are just going to try to swing or wait for you. But 90%, not too bad. We'll see if Shattuck can kind of stop the bleeding here, right?
Yeah, I think the big question, I mean, again, is just going to be getting that initial hit on Fox because, you know, Fox doesn't necessarily have a bad disadvantage state. Recovery's not great, but he's got, like, pretty decent airspeed, and, of course, that fast fall speed is such a boon for him. You see Light use that to the effect of, you know, those fast fall air dodges and everything all the time. But
yeah.
For Shattuck, it is going to be about getting that one hit because you saw one hit took Light to 90, but that's the only hit that he's really gotten so far on this stock.
Ooh, is that going to be enough? Yeah, Fox extremely light, but Light has already gotten a ton of damage here, 100%. And I like how you pointed out that fall speed, right? Because, you know, Fox does suffer off stage a ton, but he's one of the hardest characters in the game to juggle and frame trap because he falls so fast to the ground. He has one of the best neutral air dodges in the game, and he can reversal you with his incredible frame data after the neutral air dodge, right? And usually, Corrin is a character that likes to frame trap and juggle you. If you can't do that, if it's harder against Fox, that's where it's going to really struggle here. But getting already 66% and counting here. Now you have the max rage. If you can get something set up, the back air does follow through, and Light with the slight pop-off here game 1. He knew he had to close that out. That was last stock, last hit right there.
That was last hit because, again, Shattuck got that opening. Light was getting juggled, and even though he had the escape tools, right, that Fox has, it's not as reliable against somebody that has very long, big, and active hitboxes like Corrin does that can continue that advantage state. And, I mean, yeah, even that slight pop-up, that shows you just how hotly contested this match is going to be. And it came down to Light having a really good reaction to that pin and going, that didn't hit me. Even if I trade with the pin kick, if I throw out this back air and I trade with that, I probably come out on top anyways.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, I mean, just watching Light play as well, usually Fox players will go at lower percents to mid percents, dash attack nair, and try to do dash attack nair, which can be really strong, especially against characters with like frame 3 air dodges. But we've been seeing Light go for more reset options after the dash attack, the low percents. You can get angled up forward tilt into another dash attack, but he's been usually kind of ending things off with an up tilt and then just waiting and going for a reset. And it's been paying dividends here. And off the reset himself, he's getting so much resets, especially on top of platforms, that he just gets the up airs anyway, right?
Mm-hmm. Being able to follow that up, I mean, it's so important. I think that both of these characters really, in this matchup, show the importance of being able to continually follow up on your hits because you just don't want to give your opponent the opportunity to have that one neutral win. By the way, there's that upward angled forward tilt into the dash attack, exactly like you were talking about. And we talked about that earlier too, right? Where just these top-level players showcase every piece of a character's kit because they know exactly where they need to apply them, where they need to start mixing things up. And Shattuck is taking a bite out of crime right now.
Yeah, I swear Fox does have some interesting stuff. He doesn't just spam up air. I mean, 80% of the time it's up air. But the other 20, I swear, is interesting.
As long as you're, again, like, using that whole kit, right?
But oh my goodness. Falling fair?
I don't understand how Light, like, it seems like he can just teleport, like, a couple more units farther than other people can. Like, his tech skill is such that he can really get just the maximum out of this character that so many people are not going to be able to. Like, he is one of the only people, I think, that can play Fox at this, like, maximum potential, quote-unquote, right? Like, to that speed that he has.
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you think about players that just play really quick, Light, Spargo, Cola, all on that list, right? The quickest players to do it in Ultimate, and usually they play pretty fast characters, especially Light playing one of the fastest characters in the game. So you really get to see just the absolute speed where he's able to overwhelm his opponent by just how fast he's playing. He's doing just that right now. Up an entire stock here, Game 2 versus Shattuck.
Overwhelming is exactly what it is. Like, if Light is a boxer, he is an infighter without a doubt, right? Like, he gets up close, he starts throwing not even haymakers, right? But he really does just kind of bowl you over with information overload, right? And you have to kind of pick right against him. You're not exactly going to put yourself in a situation where you can just react in general. Shattuck does get that parry, will get a small punish, but can't commit to anything too big. Love the timing on that down tilt, but can't take it too much farther. So Light really just needs that one more hit to take this to a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, it's really tough to whip punish Fox in air, and I mean, oh, the up smash, that is going to do it. Small Battlefield not having the highest of ceilings there, so, and also the platform is going to be a little bit lower than PS2, so it is still a double platform stage, but does have differences from PS2, right?
I mean, one of the things that you'll know if you, like, for example, you can tell this really easily if you try to do forward throw to forward air with Kirby. If you try to do it on PS2, great, you can do it. Small Battlefield, you're going to get plopped on that platform. It's just a little bit lower, and it does make a really big difference in some of these matchups, especially when you're looking for stuff like tech chase setups on the platform, for example.
Yeah, and again, this is a really tough draw here. I mean, already running into one of your harder top-tier matchups, and it wasn't even Kananabe, you know, who is like currently the second or third best Fox in the world right now. It's the best one. It's Light. So we'll see if Shattuck can buckle down here in this set. It's going to be really hard here, and you got to do it in reverse 3-0 style.
And speaking to what you're saying, by the way, Shattuck played Miaxi, if I'm pronouncing that right, in the match before this, which I believe Miaxi plays Fox as well. So in theory, like, could be warmed up for the matchup as well. Got the 3-1 victory over that. But again, like, Light is such a different breed of Fox, right? Like, this is a completely different feeling, right? Like, it is a different toolkit that you're dealing with. And I think that also to bring up to date on the bracket as well, if you haven't been paying attention to it, Light went Game 5 with AC going into this.
Wow, SoCal Snake.
Yeah, SoCal Snake used to play Falco, maybe still has one as well, but yeah would probably be playing
Falco, but usually plays Snake.
Usually plays Snake, especially in that matchup, right? And I think that goes to show that, like, the difference of a sort of brain space that the matches can occupy too, where Light is probably playing like a very focused, like, when is my time to strike sort of match against AC leading up to this. Now he has to switch gears against Shattuck and go, I need to press as many buttons as quickly as possible, space them correctly, but I mean, I am trying to overwhelm this guy right now, and so far you can tell that like a fish to water, right? This is where Light thrives.
And Light is just so strong on these reset scenarios. Shattuck needs to hold on to this rage. I mean, it's going to be a very great tool, great DI, trading back and forth here, falling up here on the platform, backing up. Oh, almost gets the pin there, but barely. I mean, giving Fox a haircut there.
Yeah. It's like, I had a date tomorrow. It was just a little bit of misspacing from Shattuck. I think that if I don't know if there was any tech that he could have done to sort of space that backwards a little bit more, but that could just be one of those situations where you're used to doing that against a slightly taller character, and not against Fox though, right? A little bit shorter in stature. And now, I mean, Shattuck just missing that one punish, paying for it dearly. Light is not letting him go even for a millisecond. 87 all the way up to 90 on the jab locks, and Shattuck is hanging on by a thread on this second stock.
Yeah, and now it's Light the one that's holding on to all this rage. Can't find the straight hit. Finally, the wings come out. The back air will go ahead and seal this first stock out. But, oh, I like the pin reset on the platform there. Didn't go for a tech chase because, I mean, that was just a great jump, right? You can't let Light have these tech chase scenarios.
Just that sour dash attack, though, resetting the ledge trap. Light knows he just needs to keep it simple and clean right here. Doesn't need anything too super sexy. As long as Shattuck is still stuck in the corner, he can thrive. But now it's Shattuck on the offensive. This is his opportunity to really take back control of this game, get himself back into this set, but he has got to finish his plate quickly.
Oh, still gets the reset into the back air. Great DI coming out from Light. You needed that for the survivability. Maybe the rage, making that confirm, not so true.
The one set of moments where Shattuck is looking so good in this set are the moments where Light backs off just a little bit and is not fully committing to things. Shattuck is calling him out every single time that he does try to put the brakes on a little bit and see if Shattuck is going to swing early. He is so composed with this Corrin, but a little aggressive on that edge guard, not able to maintain the ledge trap. Light immediately reversals it. It's snap decision making, right? Seeing, okay, you're to the left of me, you're closer to the ledge, I'm coming right back at you with these hitboxes again.
Oh, bad DI on the falling up air there. Light looked like DI to the left, and now things are even right back up. Okay, we got the triple aerial. Now Corrin with the lead here. Shattuck doing an incredible job. Was down an entire stock, mind you.
Yeah, I mean, very early on as well, but again, the damage just unmatched. 73% nairs. The spacing is great. Light has to go high. He's all the way up, but Shattuck continuing to turn on the pressure. The tip of the up air connects, and that is why this kid can never be counted out.
Yeah, and we talked about how hard it is to juggle Fox. One of the harder characters in the game is the fastest faller, has an incredible neutral air dodge, but it didn't matter. Shattuck was so precise with the frame traps, with the juggles. I mean, when he was down an entire stock, had a sequence that did about 90% before he lost that stock, and then after that, the momentum continued. Oh, and the jacket's coming off. The crew neck's off.
That's the other version of the sleeves getting rolled up, right?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Like, it's yeah, 2 shirts as well.
Hey, it's cold out here, right?
Yeah, it's a little bit chilly. Seattle in the fall, man.
Yeah. Beautiful though. Beautiful.
Oh, dude,
I'm seeing all the leaves change color. I'm from Hawaii, so I don't get to see that too often. So
Right.
It's really cool when I get to see it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, literally flying in from the plane, like you look down and everything that is not a pine tree is bright yellow or red.
Yeah,
it is
it's great.
super cool to see.
Very beautiful.
Even when it's super cloudy and rainy, Seattle is just always beautiful. Harmony with nature, and we will see if Shattuck can continue the harmony with Corrin that he showed us in that game number 3. I mean, I think one of the things that it can kind of be hard to tell when somebody is doing it well, but one of the most impressive things about Shattuck's advantage state is that he almost never overextends.
Yeah.
He is always taking combos to their limit and then not like putting himself in a compromising position trying to take it farther.
Okay, here's the grab here. One thing I didn't even notice, but on the top, you actually can see which player has what port.
Yeah, port priority.
That is so cool.
It's a little bit more relevant when there's melee, but, you know, in Ultimate, you can at least tell, right? Like, even if the sides are switched for whatever reason, you know, that's Shattuck on player 1, Light on player 2. Of course, if you watch Smash, you already know. You can tell just by watching the Fox. You didn't need somebody to tell you it's Light, because just the way that he moves, you know that it's him. But right now, he is a little bit on the back foot. Shattuck has found openings a little bit more reliably against Light in these last 2 games.
Yeah, a lot of ledge trapping coming out from Shattuck. Grabs back to back, the up throw, and that was a very interesting option coming out from Shattuck because we saw the back throw and it put Light on stage, but I guess the plan was just to get another grab and get the damage, right?
Yeah, I almost wonder how intentional it was or whether Shattuck's fingers were moving a little faster than his brain, because it looked like he was a little exasperated after he did that back throw, but then noticed, okay, like Light's a little bit off kilter, right? So I'm going to go for that chase. I got that grab.
Yeah.
I know that up throw's going to be able to take it. Up air for Light, though, keeps him in this game number 4, bringing things back to even, and man, that forward air is putting him work.
Okay, there's an air into the up tilt, tries to continue on, double up air, frame trap in the Fox, was finally able to hit the ground here, 2 stocks apiece, and Shattuck letting you know that last game wasn't a fluke, and we even got some flick shots and slingshots for the movement. So good for these sorties, right?
I mean, especially for Corrin, whose movement is not the best in general. Being able to space yourself a little bit farther and a little bit more finely is always going to be a welcome change to the game plan.
Oh man, okay, there's the nair from the dash attack going for the extension, the corner carry. Light barely surviving. Can you get the punish on the illusion there? Okay, not going to go for the footstool there. That is something that is an option for Shattuck, but are you going to have the confidence to go for it here?
What a call out on the spot dodge, though. Light and Shattuck both go hurtling off stage. They're both going to make it back, though. Light does get a little bit of corner pressure, but is not going to be able to take it super far. And Shattuck, man, there is another thing that I think is really impressive about Shattuck's gameplay in this one, and that his he is baiting Light with his movement so well. Light has been falling for so many situations where he thinks he has an opening, but Shattuck is just a little bit farther than he thought he was, and he's able to fire back and get some big damage.
That comboed, what a great double jump into down air, making it lagless with the auto cancel there. And Mike, we're seeing Light missing a couple tech chases, and you need to hit those as Fox. If you don't hit those tech chases, you're going to be getting stocks at 150, 160 with these back airs, and that is going to be troublesome here if you're going to have to deal with all that rage on the Shattuck here. Not going to be able to get the up air on the platform tech chase.
Yeah, mistiming things just a little bit. That's one of the risks that you run playing that platform game for your combos, is that sometimes it does just come down to your intuition, but Shattuck right now all over Light, overcommits a little bit with that up air, didn't fastball it, so Light's the one that reaches the ground, but not able to get big damage off of it. Shattuck is on the verge of pushing us to a game 5, but he has got to find his way out of the corner first to do that.
Oh, right now, Light just can't get a hit. I mean, just Shattuck playing so evasive, just really bursting in and out of this mid-range and not letting Light get any kind of hit, and that's so hard to do when you're playing up against Fox, one of the best dash attacks in the game.
Oh my goodness, the use of the illusion to try to continue a tech chase. Shattuck didn't get a big punish on it though. Light keeping the pressure on, forward air puts the Corrin back off stage. Another ledge trap scenario. Back air is not going to be enough, so he goes for that up air to continue the juggle. It's anybody's guess as to how this game 4 ends.
Okay, gets the parry, but can't get much out of it. Tried to go for a footstool earlier, but didn't get the footstool. Had to retreat back to the ledge here. Oh, the up air's not enough. One more hit, the kick will do it, and we got a game 5. Shattuck versus Light.
Are you not entertained? You are at Port Priority 8, and you are watching Top Level Smash at 11 a.m.
Yes.
This could be grand finals at just about any tournament, and it is 11 a.m. We are just in top 128, and Shattuck's about to take a little walk to go ahead and cool off. Light's going to stand up a little bit to cool off because we're going to game 5
and
between...
the sleeves are up.
And the sleeves are up.
Sleeves been up, I guess. So
oh my
maybe
God.
the transition into that game 4, but my goodness, if you didn't have your cup of coffee, well, here it is, because this is going to wake you right up.
This is not coffee. This is pure concentrated caffeine. You're literally just downing a brick of caffeine.
Oh, man, and banger after banger set. This is only the second one into this block to start the day. We had JDV versus Osimo, which was an incredible game 4 set. Osimo able to take it, and now Shattuck and Light taking it all the way to game 5 here.
We're talking about two players that by the end of the year could potentially be top 15 in the world.
Yeah,
both of these guys are in that conversation. I mean, Light almost without a doubt, and Shattuck, the way that he's been playing lately, is in that conversation. And I think that if you're concerned about those rankings, getting a win on Light in this set could absolutely be like one more feather in the cap to really tell everybody this is legitimately one of the best players in the world. But it is another game going to Pokemon Stadium 2 for game 5. Light is going to believe in his adaptations. He really did turn the Jets back on there at the end of that game 4. But Shattuck had built up enough of a lead that it wasn't enough. So now the question is Light going to continue that momentum, or can Shattuck stuff it out one last time?
Ari Light doing a ton of damage with these up airs, man. I mean, on that left platform, Fox loves to get you onto a platform, do any kind of tech chase into the up air. One up air means 5 up airs usually, right? So Light getting a ton of damage and enough for that back air to go ahead and clean it out. The back air, not the strongest tool for Light, but when you do so much damage with up airs, it kind of doesn't matter, right? That's why this character is so strong. The damage output's great. So even, like, you just have to avoid getting reversal with rage is the main thing, right?
Basically. Great spacing right there by Shattuck, by the way, using, okay, even if I'm going to get parried, I'm going to drift to the very tip of my sword, make sure that I can at least maintain some stage control. He's got Light to 80%, but that also means that you don't really have any big combos for kill confirms. Now that down tilt to up air is not going to quite be able to do it yet. So the question is, how is Shattuck going to be able to finish this stock? Is it going to be even? Not quite yet. The up air's stale from that last time he used it, and up throw is not going to be enough yet either, so it's a real battle to get Light off of this first stock.
Yeah, but you got the corner situation bursting out of the corner here. Goes for the reset, gets the shield here, but back into the corner Light goes, and the shield is looking pretty low here. He can't take too much damage. He could shield poke, but going to be able to land the forward air and switch the scenario around.
Light figuring out that he just needs to space around that forward air off of ledge. Got that perfect spacing, and he's going right back to that distance because he can cover that neutral getup with something like a dash attack, a turnaround back air. This is the classic Light. Put your opponent at the ledge, never let the ledge trap go. Calls out Shattuck for going high. It's a 3-stock to 1 lead.
Ooh.
Shattuck does read that movement back to center stage, so he's down 1 full stock. That's very scary against Light, but it's not completely out of the woods for Light.
We've seen Shattuck bring things back, being down an entire stock. Is it very difficult to do in this matchup?
Oh,
yes. Yeah. Yes, for sure. But it is possible here. But Light is bringing out the gun. Everyone here is trying to win at Port Priority, and it doesn't matter how much camping needs to be done.
If I need to rack up just a little bit of percent with those lasers, I will. But Light looks like he's done with that as far as staying on stage. If you're off stage, 3 damage, right? But 95% on Shattuck. A mountain to climb when you're talking about somebody who now has all of his kill confirms available. Nair, down air, all of that can lead into up smash, and if it's not direct, it's a tech chase, and Shattuck still has just spent 90% of this match in the corner. It's one more hit for Light to take it.
Finally, Shattuck able to play the game. I was like, whoa, is this a one-player game? What's going on here? Because Light was just continuing on that lead trap, and I love the use of laser as well, just to put some cherry on top damage in, you know what I mean? And like just ending the combo off with fair, and then going for a triple laser. The back air, is it enough? Absolutely, and Light with the 2-stock pop-off, continuing on the winner's bracket. And man, that was a tough break for Shattuck. Just really couldn't get any sense of control back from Light after that second stock.
It was classic mode, right? Like that was Shattuck in the corner, and he really never found a way to get out. Light really turning up the jets when it got to game 5, and that's exactly what he is, right? Is that he's a jet engine. Sometimes, you know, if his momentum gets knocked off, it takes a while to really build it back up, but he is the kind of guy that can get back up there and just, I mean, again, you are bowling pins, he is ball. And that's exactly how that Game 5 ended up looking. Even though Shattuck did take it to a Game 5, right? It was on the verge of a reverse 3-0. It got as intense as it gets, but yeah, Light able to turn things around. Just, I mean, the adaptation was unreal.
Another Game 5 set for Shattuck versus Light. I believe it was Game 5 as well at Big House. Tough one to swallow, man. I mean, it's just this matchup's really, really hard, and Light is just such a fast player, but Shattuck definitely still has a chance in this loser's bracket, right? So even though you are out now, Shattuck can still have an incredible run, and we'll see how he does in the loser side.
And I suspect very well. When I was looking through the fantasy teams in the Port Priority Start GG,
right?
I think Shattuck was on about like 80% of the teams that I saw, because everybody was just like, this kid's playing so good, the value is unreal, he can beat just about anybody, it feels like right now. And I mean, we just got a taste of that, right? Like, just so close to beating Light, not able to close it out though. But that just means that we get to take a look at more sets coming our way, coming your way as well here on Satellite Smash. It is, again, a full day of the top of the top level Smash Bros at Port Priority this weekend.
What a crazy way to end off the year, right? I mean, just coming in towards the tail end of the year. We still got a couple more tournaments left, but this one in terms of open brackets is going to be, you know, one to remember. Port Priority 8. And I mean, it's great to see Port level up as an event too. I mean, I started working here at Port since Port 6, and now coming into 8, I mean, just the bracket gets more stacked every year. But the professionalism of the event still at an all-time high.
It really goes to show that if you put on it, if you build it, they will come, right? If you put on a good event, people are going to go to your event. It is going to be, you know, people are going to notice good work. People are going to notice hard work. That's why Gyro might. That's why all the people at Satellite, all the people in the Pacific Northwest that come together and make this possible do their best every year to bring you something that does just get better every year. And Port Priority is going to the moon. And so too are some of these players, because my God, Charles, do we have a match ahead of us.
Dang, man, we're getting all the hype stuff. All right. We got SkyJ, the best Incineroar in the world, versus Riddles, the one to do it with these fighting game characters. We saw Osimo earlier, but Riddles kind of going more towards the DLC path when it comes to these fighting game characters. We got the Kazuya, we got the Terry here. So I'm assuming we see Kazuya here, but oh no, maybe the Terry. Okay.
Could be the Terry. Personally, as an Incineroar player myself, I would loathe to play Terry a little bit more than Kazuya, because
really? Okay.
Kazuya is one of the few characters that you can kind of match in terms of movement, right? He's not particularly fast, where he does have a lot of really good distance is on that vertical game, but Incineroar can match that as well, because he has really good jump and double jump height. But Terry, on the meanwhile, is able to really, I think, we talked about it in the last one, right? But take control of the match. He really gets to set the pace, and as an Incineroar player in this matchup, you have to play extremely responsive.
Yeah, that crack shoot. I mean, Terry pretty quick on his feet as well. So one big weakness of Incineroar, probably the biggest weakness, is that mobility, right? Incineroar hits like a truck. He can get all these revenge stacks, but just doesn't move as quick as some of these other characters. One of the slower walks / dashes in the game here. But Terry, you can already see just running circles around SkyJ, and you have to worry about the crack shoot, that instant burst option, right?
And that can definitely take over things, but SkyJ taking it. Even I'm surprised that that killed. And I play this character, I can't believe that I just saw that happen. And Riddles without any rage, not going to be able to take the stock. SkyJ killed Terry at 73%, and then Terry can't kill Incineroar at like 130. Because, do not commit to a non-ledge snap against my character, please.
And that was the down air cranked with the rage here. Are we going to see a 3-stock open up to start this? Okay, SkyJ, chill, man, chill.
He wants it. He wants to see something that gives him momentum, basically, in this first game. And he has got plenty of it right now. Riddles is able to put him into the corner, but again, like, a grab here at the ledge could have been enough to do it, but that shield goes cring, the crowd goes oh, and SkyJ's first stock is kaput. But game one still certainly in his favor as of now.
Oh, the parry on the last hit. Great stuff coming out from Riddles. Now, one of the really strong things about Terry is that go meter. I know we haven't really got to see it in this game, but he gets some cool moves from the go meter.
And we won't get to see them in this game one, because SkyJ finding a tight confirm right there, that down tilt into an air, it is... A lot of people will just immediately go for that forward air. You'll probably end up sour spotting it. But with that nair, that sweet spot can be pretty tough to connect. You only get a frame or two to actually get the big damage on it. But it does still hit very strong. And with enough rage, SkyJ is able to take that game one and perhaps make Riddles consider his character choices.
Yeah, consider some choices indeed. And SkyJ really woke up this morning and just chose violence.
Yeah.
As
one does when you play a grappler.
I mean, you don't have any other choice,
that guy
right?
down. No, you have to.
He chose violence at the character select screen.
Yeah, literally. He picks that character and he looks at you.
I'm robbing you.
Smoldering eyes.
You get no go meter. No go meter for you. 100%, that's a blessing.
And you know what? I think that we are making light of it a little bit, but that is a legitimately very good part of this matchup. And something that I think SkyJ legitimately plays around too is that you see that right there, goes for the Alolan Whip because it was so close to getting that KO. He doesn't want to put Riddles into a situation where he's just chipping away at him and then suddenly he's got go meter. The worst percent you can put Terry to is 100.1.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it doesn't even matter because now Riddles has the go meter. Are you going to be able to actually utilize it is the question, because every time Riddles gets an opening, it just doesn't really matter. SkyJ able to reverse the situation or continue the hits, the up air getting the KO at 169, and we still haven't seen a single go meter move used at all.
No power geyser, no Buster Wolf.
Nothing.
None of that, because SkyJ has been able to play immaculately thus far. And again, taking really good advantage of the good traits that Incineroar does have, like that jump height. But stuck at the ledge, SkyJ is going to lose that first stock. Riddles putting on the pressure excellently there in the corner. Now we have got to see him. I think the big thing that he's been lacking is putting on that damage quickly. Because normally he has those combos, he has not been able to land them yet.
And both these players put on quite a show at Collision.
Yes,
right?
they did.
And that's when we saw the Kazuya, so maybe Riddles along that path. And I like how Riddles stuck with the Terry. Kind of got bodied on that first game, but you know, sometimes you get down here at 40, and sometimes you get a Alolan whipped at 70 right at the edge. It happens, right?
Right. And that could be, I mean, what happens if Riddles is not able to finish his plate against SkyJ, right? That you see just how close you get to the blast zone already. A little bit more rage or 5% more on Terry, and all of a sudden it gets really, you start to wonder just how soon that stock's going to be gone. And SkyJ, man, so responsive and playing well in those situations. That ledge trapping especially, you normally think, okay, Incineroar's going to stand there, fish for down tilts, maybe run up and grab me, a Alolan Whip, but no, responding to what Riddles is showing him. But Riddles is also firing back in kind, bringing this down to last stock.
Yeah, I was going to say, it can be really, really bad if Riddles can't find the KO. Both these characters are really heavy, so it really comes down to who can get the most efficiency out of their hits. Now, Riddles with the lead here. Okay, there's a little revenge. You know, a quick 40% back throw.
Just for a standard grab, you know. Like a few frames and all of a sudden you got to hurt, but the hurt getting put on SkyJ. One more hit will certainly end his game, and committing to that Alolan Whip is going to give Riddles the opportunity to find that one hit. We are tied up at 1-1.
Yeah, that power dunk not quite enough to do it, and we saw the SDI in it. SDI obviously very strong against a character like Terry, and we saw the SDI in. Great reactions coming out from Riddles, going into the Empowered Up special there to end that stock because the SDI in, right, to punish that. So great stuff coming out from Riddles, evening things up. It would have been really scary going down 0-2 versus the Incineroar, right?
Yeah. Not a situation you want to be. You don't want to give them that time to adapt, and especially you don't want to have to consider immediately down 2-0, well, do I need to switch the character? And I know that's something that Riddles has been a lot more confident in, is which characters to pick in a matchup and kind of sticking to his guns. But let's see how Game 3 goes. SkyJ, of course, will be sticking to the Incineroar as ever, and he's going to get a clean 67 for his troubles.
Okay. Yeah, Revenge is such a strong tool. A very unique counter, right? Because most other counters kind of suspend you in the air, kind of stall you out. But the thing about Revenge that makes it really hard to punish sometimes is that Incineroar keeps on falling, right? So it's a little different.
That was amazing that Riddles got to go because of the initial hit of the cross chop. You just got to hear that beep, the Go turning online. Then Sky just said, no, actually get in the corner. There, Go, used for the first time, and it does connect 1-for-1. SkyJ does get that roll read, though, with the up smash, so it is immediately a non-factor. But Riddles finally getting to show off the power of Go.
Yeah, and the thing that makes Go pretty crazy is, oh man, tried to rob him at 46, of course. Got to do it with Incineroar here. And I mean, the crazy thing about Go Meter is there's you have unlimited uses, right? I think that's the really crazy thing that sticks out about Go Meter compared to, you know, the Rage Art from Kazuya and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can just let them fly, right? And the trade-off is that they are a bit committal, right? They are pretty punishable in reality. Speaking of punishable, if you're able to SDI out of that power dunk, then you are able to go ahead and get a combo off of it as well, or at least one hit. SkyJ finding a Alolan Whip, which is, it's a combo in and of itself, and gets out again. He knows this matchup, and that is clear.
Yeah, I wonder if Riddles is just going to have to go more into up specials, or maybe even go into the light version of the power dunk so it doesn't have such a high arc to get the SDI down, right? Incineroar is a fast faller, so SDIing down is going to be an option.
Light Nair just going to reset the situation. Does not get in the KO, but calls out that jumping power wave, connects the back air, but we've already seen Riddles be able to really stick close to SkyJ in these last couple of games, not give him the opportunity to run away with the game. So he is going to try to, yes, stay close to him, keep pressing those buttons, put on some damage, maintaining stage control as well. And I think you mentioned it right there, right? Changing up the type of power dunk does get that stock taken.
Yeah, it's going to be a great job coming out from Riddles there. That time, again, especially at lower percents, just going for the light one for damage. That's all you're using it for, right? Already racking up quite a bit of damage. Another classico here, the jab, jab, power dunk, racking up even more. And this is where Terry can be such a menace, right? Because, oh, tried to go for that same shield break setup. But, I mean, just having auto turnaround at the ledge is so strong here. Trying to get an opening, try to get these Alolan Whips at the edge. Riddles finally catching on, going for more of these full hop options here.
Yeah, SkyJ selling out a little bit, thinking that Riddles would maybe get aggressive on the ledge trap, so going over it with the cross chop. A really devilish mix-up, right? Because it's pretty much a true 50-50 if you're anywhere close to the ledge, but Riddles did not play that game. He just backed up, he got out of range of the cross chop, and immediately got his confirm. And what looked like it was going to be, oh no, SkyJ is just ruining Riddles' day right now. All of a sudden, Riddles is up 2-1, and we wonder what we were worried about.
Yeah, and I think Riddles is usually the player, since you're playing Kazuya or Terry, right? Riddles is usually in the POV of like, okay, I need to get in, force these interactions, right? But now it feels like Riddles is kind of respecting SkyJ a lot more and playing like just outside of Incineroar's movement, right? Riddles is the one that has to move all around SkyJ's option and really respect the Incineroar pick and then come in and go for the whiff punish. And usually Riddles is on the other side of that spectrum, right?
The difference between Incineroar and Ganon, right? They're both pretty similar in terms of like their stats, in terms of like where they can move and all of that. The difference between them is that you do not have to respect Ganondorf. You can just run up and press buttons on him, but you have to respect Incineroar.
Yes.
That's the really big difference, and that's what you're talking about, right? Is that in that game one, it didn't really look like Riddles was respecting the Incineroar pick, but after that, now it seems like he's like, okay, now I understand what this character is capable of if I'm not spacing and if I'm not careful. But that being said, even if you do that, SkyJ is a very talented player, so you still have to be on your toes.
Big damage here, 22% with the Alolan Whip. Going high with the crack shoot, getting the connection, but the revenge on the up smash. Oh my goodness.
That is a quick 50 off of that Lariat because, yeah, you revenge a strong move like a smash attack, you're getting to that maximum scaling instantly.
Go Meter's online here, another Alolan Whip with the dash attack. to burst on through. Another one. Oh my goodness, SkyJ with a huge lead. And we might see this game 5 real quick. Okay, coming through here with that go meter, gonna even the stocks up, but the damage is much so in favor of SkyJ.
There we go. He's able to mash out, though, because at those early percents, right, in Smash, sometimes, you know, you hit a move and then you're minus on hit, and sometimes that's how it goes if you're not getting the right combo starter. So SkyJ recognizing that situation, but once again, Riddle's connecting with the go moves, and if SkyJ's not careful about how he lands here, his stock could be gone before you can say go.
Oh, but the back air gonna clean out that second stock, clean out that go meter. Yeah, and I mean, you gotta be really, really careful, especially when Riddle starts connecting nairs right by the edge, too. I mean, it can lead to so much different things.
I'm really impressed by the way that SkyJ has been aggressive out of disadvantage and has been making it work. Saw that even in that interaction right there, that he is not choosing to land far away from Riddles to guarantee that he won't get hit. He is making callouts on, I can be this close and still make connections, but Riddles right there calling out the Alolan Whip, able to stay outside of the range of that armor, and does go right into the Rising Tackle. One stock apiece, and if SkyJ can close this out, we go to a game 5. But oh my God, he closed it out. No, not quite yet. I lied to you.
Oh man, that was so close. I thought it was over as well. I mean, going for the up throw variant of that Alolan Whip, right? So close to the ceiling here. Here's the nairs. Are we going all the way? No, Riddles is not able to close out. This is so down to the wire.
And that required perfect DI from SkyJ because it was the 5 chops into the burn knuckle. But SkyJ now on the back foot, has to go to the ledge at 130 against the character, like you mentioned earlier, with that auto turnaround. So you have to be all about your spacing, not about trying to mix up your movement. But now it's Riddles' turn to be on the back foot, and the pizza time is not enough to take it.
Directional air dodge to land the forward air. It should be enough to not get the sour hit. And just like that, game 5, back-to-back here. We saw it with Shattuck versus Light, and we're going to see it with Riddles versus SkyJ.
I wish you all could see that. You just saw Cirque stand up. He was popping off. He was obscured by SkyJ. I have literally a perfect view of Cirque from where I'm sitting. He's got the LATAM jersey on and everything, and he is slapping his hands. He's dabbing. He's doing everything, right? Because SkyJ bringing things to game 5 is I said this a while ago, I think it was after Collision, that somebody was like, can't believe we're watching SkyJ Riddles, like after we saw like Mutace versus MKLeo, and I was like, yeah, Mutace versus MKLeo is this very poignant storyline that touches on, you know, a lot of things that are deep and close to your heart, and it really has no flaws. And SkyJ versus Riddles is Dragon Ball Z, and I'm gonna watch both of them.
Exactly, you gotta have, here in Smash Ultimate, we cover every single storyline, every single timeline here. Sometimes you have a beautiful plot line that comes together, great world building, or you just have just incredible fighting back and forth with characters that just absolutely destroy each other.
Sometimes the plot is about number go up. Ah!
Oh man, and the power levels are getting maxed out here. Game number 5, all the tricks in the book. Already Riddle starting things off with this 151%. Oh my God, that means it's max rage, and you just powered up SkyJ with all that rage, and again, no chance to use the go meter.
And not even able to connect a combo out of those jabs because he's at such a high percent. SkyJ was actually able to DI away from the Rising Tackle, but Riddles recognizing these situations where SkyJ is trying to turn around and use that Alolan Whip. Already noted earlier that that dash attack at those higher percents is going to break through that. Incineroar is not going to be able to armor through, but SkyJ, with the power of Incineroar, is continuing to rack up this damage.
And again, I just want to point out, I love that Riddle stuck to his guns. You know what I mean? Stayed with the Terry, even though game 1 was a complete wash for the side of SkyJ here. But Riddle just stuck with it. Oh, that's going to do it there. The jump Alolan Whip off the short hop, such a good option. Now Riddles is down an entire stock. SkyJ still carrying on this momentum, getting another conversion, already 60%. Gets the down air to end the set. SkyJ ending it with style here at Port Priority 8.
Just an unstoppable freight train. SkyJ is unbelievable with this character. It looked like Riddles took everything back by the end of that game 3, but SkyJ with his fighting spirit took that to levels unimaginable, and this crowd is electric.
Oh man, of course, with all these crazy sets, the chat's got to be electric. The crowd is definitely out here being extremely loud, cheering for their country, cheering for their favorite players, and they really want to see these players go all the way to the end, just like here. Game 5 situation wasn't last stock, but man, SkyJ definitely put on a show those last 2 stocks, man.
Oh my gosh. And one of the things that I think nobody at home would have been able to see, but Riddles, after that second stock in Game 5 got taken, stomped his foot, like it very visibly got tilted, audibly got tilted. Like that was a reverberation through the venue, and that's something you cannot give SkyJ. You see him throwing up his hand after that first stock gets taken on that second one, right? Slamming. You cannot show somebody playing a grappler that you are tilted, because that's where that kind of stuff tends to happen.
Short hop Alolan Whip at the edge or in the corner for the ledge trap, it's a powerful tool. There's armor on that thing.
Yeah.
So a lot of players, like, you can't even swing back. You can't even fight back.
You say fight back? No, don't fight back.
And it's
don't
so
fight
tough
back.
because the way SkyJ times it, he times it to get ledge jump too, because usually in those scenarios, when you're scared of a Alolan Whip, you want to jump over it. But the way SkyJ does the Alolan Whip, he does it with the short hop, sometimes he does it with the full hop, and it catches these jumps, and the way he times that, the way he instills the fear, he conditions you for the one moment that matters. When he's at max rage, you want neutral 90% of the time, and then he gets the grab at 66%, and that's it. That's the first stock. He's got the lead.
And one of the things that people think is, oh, okay, well, all right, he does that Alolan Whip at a height where it covers my first jump. But then what if I just double jump over him? Incineroar, as I mentioned earlier, has really, really good jump height too. And if you give him, you have no double jump, you have limited resources, and he goes up to start juggling you, you're going to have a really bad time. And that's where those mix-ups come in. And that's where SkyJ shows that he is truly, at his heart, a grappler player, because he is going to put you in those situations and he is going to guess correctly, damn it.
And it's so hard to contest Incineroar. I mean, when Incineroar is juggling you, he has some of the best aerials in the entire game. Nair hits so low to the ground, and then up air is so good at juggling too. So it's really, really tough to get out. I mean, the biggest saving grace is going to be just that lack of mobility, right?
Yeah.
So
sorry,
it's
Brandon.
tough.
Brandon was walking back with the camera, and he was like, "Hey, can you move that out of the way? Can I get a shot?" And I was like, "Yeah, you got it, man."
Hey.
But yeah, man, there are so many emotions that I'm feeling right now, man.
I mean, as an Incineroar, man, you're eating good right now.
I'm eating real good after struggling to approach my opponents for an hour and a half straight yesterday in bracket. I watched that and I'm like, yes, it's possible.
It is possible. I mean, SkyJ has been doing big things with this character for quite some time now. I don't think it's a big surprise. I know around last year, around Collision is really when we saw the uptick in Incineroar, especially with SkyJ getting into the upper echelons of these placements. So, I mean, SkyJ been doing it for years now, and this character is here to stay in the meta. It definitely wasn't a gimmick. He's still out here getting wins, and, you know, not every tournament is a 10 out of 10 banger. It's hard to be consistent with this character, but there are tournaments where SkyJ makes incredible runs, right?
I think when it comes down to it, when you have a character that has normals that good and has some semblance of mobility, right? That horizontal mobility, terrible. But the vertical mobility is such that he can set up those mix-ups. Like, I thought, going back to Smash 4, thinking about how DK is like kind of a grappler in that game, right? He's kind of a grappler in this one. That designing a pure grappler in a platform fighter seems like a nightmare, but the mix of traits that they gave Incineroar made a character that not only like had the potential to be good after he got a few buffs. He was very not good at launch, and I did not play him at launch because he was bad. But like, after he got the up B definitely goes like way farther than it used to.
Okay.
A lot of his normals, I think they got like a little bit better frame data, kind of set up at better angles as well.
Oh, now I remember. Yes.
Like down tilt especially, I think got a really big buff, and that ends up, you know, that's a central part of the toolkit as well, right? Like, even in that set, you didn't see Riddles get hit by too many of them, but that's because he had to spend so much time respecting that move.
Yeah, it's really tough here. But on to the next set, we got America versus Japan here. We got Umeki, one of the best Peaches to do it in the business, and I mean, was the best Peach for quite some time, especially in Smash 4, right? Was one of those players that really broke the technical boundaries of this character. Now we got Mute Ace as well, doing incredible things. I mean, both these players, you know, on the old school side of things. Mute Ace was also an incredible Peach player in Smash 4 as well. So great stuff. And man, coming in now, we got Zamba. One of, if not the best player in America. It's a big question mark. Who is the best American player right now, right? Because Zamba does very, very well in the Tweak. I mean, you could it's between, like, it's a mix of, like, you can pick Zamba, you could pick Tweak, you could pick Light, right? Even the Buzz. The Buzz has been doing incredible
recently. He's up there in the conversation now, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to just pick one, but, you know, Zamba, one of the best to do it in America for sure. And we'll see how far Zamba, I mean, Zamba, in terms of seeding, one of the players most likely, if you're just looking at seeding, to qualify for Watch the Throne, right?
Yeah, and also to make it into the top 8 in general. I'll put it to you this way, right? Like, they had the fantasy bracket this weekend, and one of the very difficult decisions I had to make was doing my initial team was, do I put Zamba or Light on my team? Which, you know, you go back a few months, you'd be like, well, that's not even a question. Like, of course it's Light, but Zamba has been that good lately that he's even like that safer pick when it comes to that, because he's not only been reaching very good heights, but he has also been so consistent lately as well. And I think we'll get to see a lot of that in a matchup that he has played a few times.
Ooh, there's a Saturn already getting plucked out here, but there goes exit stage right. Zamba with the top in hand. Oh, gets the jump Z-drop out of shield, but doesn't convert into it too much. And this is going to be the battle of items. Both these characters being able to pull these items here. Oh, and such a low percent KO. Umeki not even reaching 100% after the hit there.
Yeah, I think I mentioned this the other day when Umeki was playing, that Peach is not necessarily a very light character. She just happens to be very floaty. She's a little bit closer to midweight, actually, but even then, I don't care how heavy you are. That Zamba back here, right? The Zombair.
The Zombair.
El Diablo, right? he will find a way. Life will always find a way to have you get hit by a Zamba back here. And exactly what we just saw at a very early percent. So now the onus is on Umeki to bring this one back. And this is something that Peach can struggle with against heavy characters, as you get up to these 150+ % and question, how is this stock even going to get taken?
Yeah, and it's just funny because we've seen all those clips, all those comebacks. Oh, no double jump coming out from Umeki here. That's a huge, huge SD. And now down to the last stock here. You can definitely clean out this first stock or not. Oh my goodness, no rage. The forward air is still not enough cross stage.
That move got nerfed hard back in the day. And it's now more of a timing mix-up than anything else, right? Where, you know, you can threaten the nair and, maybe a down air or stuff like that, or a grounded move, but your opponent tries to air dodge past that or something, and then the forward air is right there to cover it perfectly. But Umeki, on top of Zamba, does land that side special to take the first stock, but plenty of distance to make up. Now, Umeki is one of the most consistent players in the world at landing those turnip combos. If he has a turnip in hand, he can take you a long way. Without it, though, there's only so much you can do.
Yeah, not getting the double flow cancel nair combo after the down tilt here. Umeki dropping a big opening, and yeah, I mean, if you keep dropping these combos, Zamba's going to take full advantage of that and just kind of clean out this game number 1 here. But we have seen Umeki, if you're able to close out, goes for the Z-drop grab there. Turn back actually connects. I love that option select.
Pretty safe, right? Even if you whiff it, you go, okay, well, there's still probably going to be some amount of hits done from this turnip, and I can just reset the situation. And that's something that Peach is so good at, right? Or Daisy in this case. That Daisy is really good at, is going into these situations where she can be low committal and reset situations, but no chance to take back control of that game. Zamba just took those first couple of stocks way too quickly and was just able to play damage to damage games, station to station, until game 1 was over. Yeah,
and the thing about Rob down tilt, I mean, obviously one of the best moves in Rob's toolkit, but against these floatier matchups, we see Zamba. Against fast followers, you get more tech chase scenarios, right? But against these floaty characters, we actually see the boosted F tilt, right? Go ahead, go for that pivot boost on that F tilt, and it's a pretty solid move. Has enough knockback to at least take out Peach in that scenario and close that game out. So beautiful stuff coming out from Zamba, going for the down tilt into the pivot boost F tilt.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it earlier, right? The top-level players using everything in a character's toolkit. Because, you know, a lot of high-level Robs would get into that situation and they go, okay, now how do I get into, you know, one of my big kill moves, right? How do I reset for a gyro here? But no, Zamba knows, okay, after I land this move, all it takes is that forward tilt. It's going to be enough to take that stock, especially with the Blast Zones not being particularly far from the ledges on that stage. And they're about to get even closer. I'm a little surprised to see Rob get taken to Town and City.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to have a lot of space to operate with, and of course, those the gyro combos into the spinny move.
Yeah,
very good. the Rob Copter, if you will. And especially, you know, Town and City and Smash, we're going to have those smaller side blast zones. But guess what other character can do item throw spam into side B? Well, it's Peach. So both these characters, we'll see if any of these players are going to be able to have those setups here on deck. But saw a lot of neutral. And again, that game 1, usually trying to feel the other player out, right? And then try to maybe line up these bigger openings for games 2 and 3.
They hit my Bob Ross music. I'm about to...
Who picked this song?
Go check out the guy. If somebody picked that, I'm going to be a little bit mad. But is that... If that's Umeki's strategy, is to put Zamba to sleep, like it's Betty Bye time, then, you know, whatnot. You know, maybe he's looking out for the people at home in Japan, because right now, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1 a.m. He's trying to help them fall asleep.
Oh man, Umeki coming out with all the strategies, even the song counter picks, right? Gotta have it on deck. Everyone's got their favorite music to play Smash to.
Yeah, and you know what? If playing chill, playing relaxed is your vibe, I can totally see Umeki being that kind of player too, but look at him fire right back against Zamba, bringing things back to even, and this is exactly where he's scary. Turnip in hand, he can take these combos so far. 91%, and like you said, Charles, it can end with that side B pretty quickly.
Yeah, I mean, one of the best combo starters you can get as Peach or Daisy is getting a recatch up air when you catch the turnip and then go into up air, especially if you get the last hit of the up air. Oh my goodness. Or you can drag down, whatever you prefer, right? You got a lot of options with that multi-hit up air here. See Zamba try to catch up in terms of damage.
Well, and the stylistic difference of the combos too, that normally if you watch Mudace, for example, he'll try to stick those combos with the drag downs and keep it close to the ground as Umeki is able to take that stock, take the lead very solidly against Zamba, and continue the combos almost into the blast zone with just a tiny, if he had rage, that was a dead Zamba.
Yeah. And even, I mean, maybe one more rep of the item throw into the side B, that could have been it as well. Gyro in hand, but it doesn't matter. Umeki has such a huge lead. It's like, you just got all the damage regardless, right?
This is looking just a mirror image of game one, just on the other side, right? It's flipped that now Umeki gets to do exactly what Zamba did, which is to just go station to station, play hit for hit, tit for tat, and eventually you're going to get something that's going to get that KO, just as long as you don't overcommit to anything. And if he's at 161, you didn't take him with that back air, we call that a happy little reset.
Oh, the turn up, and again, Umeki getting a lot of these sour hits, but it doesn't really matter. Eventually, the back throw, eventually the nair or the bear, one of these stray arrows are going to connect here for Umeki. Answering back, Town and City 2 stock. And Umeki was the one getting the combos.
Yeah, relentless with the backers, and yeah, the combos especially. I mean, he's going to land those on any stage regardless, but I mean, the way that game almost ended, like a forward air at 75% post-hit. Yeah, like, I thought that move was anemic now, but Umeki, again, I guess showing off that, hey, kind of break the mold, right? Don't think that, oh, Town and City, good stage for Rob, I can't go anywhere. No, it's a great stage for me too.
Yeah, and I mean, both these characters very classic in terms of just, they've been meta relevant since the launch of Ultimate, right? And again, both these characters, very fantastic. You can play them in fundamental ways, but they also have incredibly high ceilings, right? In terms of, if we think about TAS and their punish game, if you're able to go far and beyond. I mean, Zamba more on the fundamental side of Rob, right? Anathema known.
Team fundies.
Right. And not saying that the other Robs don't have those fundies, but Anathema in terms of punish game, probably the best Rob to do.
Probably the best Rob there, yeah. But and Zamba has enough to get it done,
yes,
right? Like
exactly.
he has a good enough combo game where he can play at the heights that he does while being able to focus a little bit more on, you know, how am I going to play this matchup and how am I going to keep things like a little bit safer, right? Like it's not just about the threat. I think that's one of those things is that Zamba plays, I think, the character matchup a little bit more, whereas players like Anathema with that crazy combo game try to play the player a little bit more.
Right, because you just need that one hit.
Right, exactly. And so, you know, I catch one mistake, you're dead, whereas Zamba's like, I'm just going to make fewer mistakes and get good punishes instead of great ones.
Here's the pressure here. Umeki already taking quite a bit of damage, 143 and counting here. The air dodge getting caught, and wow, Zamba dipping real low, but the up air, even at like about stage level, is still enough to get the job done.
It was a bait onto Umeki too that, I mean, just about anybody would fall for. Rob jumps at you off stage, you assume the aerial's going to come, but that air dodge came out, Zamba drifted under him and basically said, if you do anything other than fast fall air dodge to the ledge, I'm going to hit you with this up air, and that's going to be enough to take the stock. Zamba right now looking for some dirty, dirty combos to try to get Umeki off stage, but great spacing with that parasol is going to keep him alive.
Okay, going high with the side B, able to get the punish here, and now Zamba racking up a good amount of damage here on PS2. We're getting all the different stages here. We got full DSR on lock for Port Priority 8, so unless these players gentlemen to the same stage over and over again, you're almost going to get the entire stage list.
Right, and that's one of the things I like about rule sets that are like a little bit more restrictive about where you can go, is that you get to see people have to adapt to more, you know, many different stages. Personally, when I was playing in bracket, I love this rule set, but right now it's all about these players right now. Zamba up 3, stocks to 1. I mean, just, again, mirror images flipping back and forth. This looks just picture perfect like we saw in game 1.
Yeah, is this game 1?
Yeah, no, exactly. Like, Zamba's just fully in control. Umeki's working really hard to take that first stock, and I think part of it might just be how darn big this stage is.
Okay, that time not going to throw the item, or actually just dropping the item there to get that forward air. Okay, Zamba with the turn up. Oh, just swinging on through here. But Zamba does have an entire stock lead. Ooh, trying to go for the reset, but Zamba just disengaging with the air dodge down. Umeki maybe trying to hunt down that double jump.
With no turn up in hand right now, I mean, even if he is trying to get those, call-outs in the disadvantage, right, where Umeki's really going to thrive is playing that player game and getting the big conversions. And, I mean, so far, I mean, he's just been matching Zamba on that pace in neutral as this game has gone on, especially on this stock. Umeki looking great. Not able to get the conversion into the forward air, but the ledge trap continues nonetheless until morale improves, and now it does. The Japanese crowd here is lighting up for Umeki, who is bringing this down to last stock where it looked like it was just entirely in Zamba's favor.
Yeah, Umeki, an incredible player and one of the main TOs of Japan as well. So,
Umebura, if I'm not mistaken,
yes,
right?
yes. Yeah. So, very, very cool. I mean, the fact that a TO is this good at the game and has been a top player in Japan for this long. I mean, shout outs to Umeki doing so much for the community and also being nice with it on the sticks.
You know, me being from Dallas and with Burr, the Kazuya player, being my TO, I usually go, aha, yeah, my TO can beat up your TO. I don't know about Umeki because he's real good, but Zamba says,
my goodness.
Oh my god, Umeki got back here to real life.
That was such a low percent, and I mean, Umeki was making an incredible comeback, was down an entire stock. We saw that item play, especially at the ledge on the right side. That turn up, the basic turn up, does so much damage, and you saw Umeki kind of just cover so many different options, cover so many different spaces, but at the end, Zamba was able to claw back, get the job done, the back air, tried and true.
Zamba, again, like, he is going to find a way to land those more often than not, because that is, like it or not, that's his signature, right? It kind of goes back to that Team Fundies, right? That there are combos in the back airs, but it's a really good move for callouts, and that is the exact play style that Zamba tends towards. That's why he's become so notorious for it. But now for Umeki, right, it's time to think. You're not going to have counter pick advantage if you do push it to a Game 5, but you have to consider where you want to take it now, especially since you can't go back to Town and City where you were so effective. Right. You now have to decide, am I going to try to scrap with Zamba, who is one of the best initiators in Smash, or am I going to try to go to a bigger stage, maybe go back to Pokemon Stadium 2 and really just try to match him pace for pace and not get hit by that back air, basically?
Right, because I wonder if Zamba actually banned Smashville. That could have been an option that was banned. I'm not too sure. You only get one ban here, and it's full DSR. So
if you've won on a stage, you can't go back.
Yeah, and that's like the entire set. So there is modified DSR, which is the last stage you want on, but this, again, especially with these best of fives, DSR is going to take out a lot of these stages, right?
And again, it's going to force you to play, like, your opponent's going to get some counter picks.
Some strong counter picks.
Your opponent's going to get some strong counter picks. You're also going to get some strong counter picks. And, the rule set is what it is. It's going to favor inherently, no matter how you build it. Some characters are going to be a little bit more favored than others, right? You think like, oh, now I'm going to have to go to a stage that I really never want to play with Peach or with my main, right? But that's just kind of the way that rule sets end up being built, and trying to find that perfect balance is so hard. But fact of the matter is, when you're playing in the tournament, you have to work with what you're given. And right now, Umeki is thinking, look, I just need to maximize my punish game more. If Zamba wants to play on a big stage and if he wants to take control of that space, that's fine. But I need to make these openings count.
Great conversion going into that float into the Nair, coming down instantly here. Now Zamba getting the offense started, going for the laser, covering the spot dodge here. A bunch of different scrambles. No one able to get too big of an opening here.
It's hard to convert off of those scrambles, too. Like, most people's instinct is just to say, I want this guy away from me. Like, I want to get back to a position where I can think about what my game plan is going to be and how I'm going to approach this person. But Zamba right now able to land the grab, able to start up this juggle, committing a little heavily, I thought, but then drifting right back in with that forward air to cover the space that Umeki tried to make up. It really goes to show just how keen Zamba is on his character. Umeki, on the other hand, not the best DI on that up air, and will take an early exit from that first stock.
Ooh, tried to get the up special. The parasol off the top there. Not going to connect, but yeah, I mean, the cross-up DI on that up air, you will get KO'd at much earlier percent. So what's the punish here? Goes into the back air. Yeah, the corner carry with the recatch on the turn-up. Still not enough, but still was able to get a good amount of damage. The up smash out of shield, not quick enough with the jabs, able to make it a little bit safer.
Ooh, speaking of safety, though, Zamba trying to get back to the safety of center stage. Umeki calling him out, but just a little bit off on the spacing. Up smash not going to be able to connect into a KO off of the sour spot. there's a scramble where Umeki comes out on top, and that's exactly what we expect out of Daisy, right? When she's up close to you and you whiff a move, it doesn't matter if it's in intent, she is going to get big damage. That's exactly what Umeki's got going. 93 off of that one hit, and 80 of it was guaranteed.
It doesn't opt for a turnip pool, just tried to get that down air into forward air. That percentage looking real good, able to snatch up the gyro as well, crossing up, but it doesn't matter. The up smash gonna catch Umeki in the skies here.
Poetic too that Zamba called Umeki out the exact same way that Umeki called him out earlier, right? And Peach is not always going to roll. Sometimes she's going to commit to some float movement above you, but Zamba able to react and call it out in time, taking control of this game once again. At 158 off stage, Umeki has shown some really good ledge trapping, but is able to do it now as well. I was going to say not always able to finish his plate on those ledge traps, but is able to there with that back air.
Yeah, and I mean, the crazy thing is when Rob does up B, the hands come up, right? So I think Umeki kind of caught Zamba going for the up B to ledge there because the hurt box. Oh, we got a big combo though, already 84%. Great stuff coming out from Umeki with the turnip in hand.
I love him cashing out with that Nair too because it sets Zamba up on that side platform. You do get an advantageous state. And now with the Rob at 113%, you can just keep on chipping away at him. This ledge trapping, again, has been so good from Umeki. And there's that timing mix-up with the forward air. Umeki clapping it up for himself. And I know the Japanese Twitch chat is popping off for him as well because, Charles, we're going to another Game 5.
Back to back to back, man. These sets have been so fantastic here at Port Priority 8. Umeki, I mean, we're not seeing the crazy, we saw one conversion into a KO, but honestly, the consistency of Umeki's combo game, extremely impressive. How many openings we saw? 0 to 80, 0 to 90, right? Just utilizing the whole entire stage, then comboing off the platform. So fantastic stuff. The damage output on the side of Umeki is incredible.
You really just do not see consistency in complex combos like that all the time. With a lot of characters, but we talked about it. Umeki's one of the most technical players out there, and he was doing those kinds of combos with Smash 4 Peach, where this kind of stuff was even harder than it already is in this game.
Yeah, Umeki was known for being able to do the infinite in Smash 4, which was like so difficult to do.
Unbelievably hard. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, just an incredible player. Also very, very technical, right? A character like Peach doing all these combos, you're definitely breaking a lot of rules of the game to do them, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of small things that you have to do to be able to re-catch the items because there's a lockout. So, I mean, the APM is really quick on those combos.
And yet he is able to keep up. Battlefield is the venue for the Game 5 of this set. So Umeki is going to have to work even harder to put that heavy character in Rob into the blast zone with these. It is gigantic, especially from center stage. And I think one of the things we might see is Umeki getting more aggressive off stage because that's kind of going to be one of the only ways to get stocks earlier.
Yeah, I think this is an incredible pick coming out from Zamba. He did go up 2-1 in the set, and Zamba clearly knew exactly what stage because we went into Game 5 pretty quick. So great plan coming out from Zamba, honestly. Like you said, the biggest thorn on Umeki's side is when Zamba's able to get to like the 150, past 150, and just Umeki can't land a KO and just gets hit by turnips over and over again. While Zamba, that bear is so active, so powerful, right? Oh, that up air is going to do it.
And yeah, Rob does not really struggle for confirms off the top, even with tall blast zones. You saw it exactly right there. It wasn't even a combo, but he was able to get that call out on the air dodge, setting up that situation so intelligently. And look at that, not even trying to get aggressive to continue the ledge trap. He says, I've got the lead right now. It's fine if I just land this forward tilt because damage is damage and you can't say no to that.
Yeah, Zamba doesn't need a crazy combo string for his damage, just an insanely solid advantage state, right? Just getting all of these resets, but Umeki firing back with a little bit of rage, 85%, but we've seen Umeki rack up that damage real quick, right?
Yeah, I mean, one turnip in hand is all he needs, but the question is, are you going to be able to find the time against Rob? Because you've got just an absolute storm of projectiles coming your way. Does finally get one in his hand, so now Zamba trying to knock it away from him, and he is in the corner, so Umeki's not going to be able to take it super far and actually dropping it off of that down air.
Yeah, I mean, maybe we were going to see some crazy conversion off the side there because, I mean, you had a turnip in hand and a ton of time. Umeki's still getting a good amount of damage on deck, though. 121, you got to avoid a lot of KO moves here. That Nair going to continue to rack up damage. Rob, with so much active moves, is really able to air Peach or Daisy so well.
I mean, even ground to air as well, right? Like, Rob just has moves in general that last a long time, and Yeah, Daisy has like really good movement, but not necessarily the quickest.
Wow.
Umeki, though, with the gyro in hand, able to weave all the way around Zamba's edge guard, and now with a ton of rage, potentially had a ledge trap going, although I love Zamba's ability to just dance around these platforms to escape the pressure.
All right, and we're really seeing this game slow down to a crawl. Both of these players playing very safe neutral. Umeki sitting at 181%. This defense is incredible. These recoveries, immaculate.
Yeah, again, it is like a dance to just try to avoid anything, even just that sour spot in air, right? I mean, Zamba can throw out a bevy of moves to take a stock right now, but Umeki is still not making it easy for him. 203. I thought it would be harder for Umeki to take a stock, but now he's got the ledge trap out of nowhere.
Not going to pull a turnip here, just going to do it the old-fashioned way, gets the nair. Now this time setting up this ledge trap with the turnip pull, floats over the gyro, 213% on Umeki.
And he is still being wary of those aerials. A little bit of a whiff does finally get taken out by that nair. Umeki a little frustrated that he wasn't able to get his front foot out first and take that second stock, so he is on winner's bracket point right now. Zamba has a lot of options at his disposal to delete a stock quickly, but again, like you've been mentioning, Umeki has not been giving him those opportunities.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, mission accomplished for Umeki. You were down a lot of percent, and you made that second stock last so long that you just were able to rack up so much damage. A hard hit nair bear is going to do the trick here.
Neutral air, just like you called, Charles, brings us to, say it with me again, last stock game 5, right?
Yes.
Like, we've seen it so many times, we get to see it once more.
Game 5, last stock. Maybe we'll get last stock, last hit. Who knows? These sets have been going back and forth over and over again. Turnip in hand. All these items are out to play here. Who will have the best item control? We're going back and forth here.
Umeki juggling with down air too on that top platform, something that I never thought I'd say in my life, but here he is with the percent lead. Zamba on the juggle as well, trying to find his way down, but those platforms keep getting in his way. Umeki gets the turnip back in hand, but not able to get the solid opening.
Oh, and this back air could do it. Goes for the side B. It's still not going to connect here. Umeki, again, getting another great hit, but you need something way harder for Rob. Maybe the back air out ledge roll. It's enough. Umeki takes it. He moves on to the winner's side.
And he is all over the stage because that was clutch at its finest. Had to fight back against Zamba's counter pick, but he was able to climb that hill, take down one of the top seeds of the event, send him to loser's bracket, and one of Japan's premier tournament organizers is now going to top 32 winner's side.
Umeki doing, I mean, he had a very recent performance as well back in Japan, doing very well here, carrying that momentum from Japan here to Seattle, and incredible stuff coming out from Umeki. Like you said, one of the top seeds of this entire tournament.
And he took him down with, again, that last match, when I saw Battlefield, I was like, dang. Umeki has had a couple situations where he struggled to take Zamba's stock at reasonable percents, and now you increase the size of the blast zones, especially from the ledge where he keeps the game played. But Umeki changed up his game plan, and I think that's why he was able to take that game 5. He was so much more aggressive, not waiting for Zamba to make the first move. Even though Zamba's quite the initiator as a player, it was situations like that where he aggressed on top of him and was able to take the stock. That's where we got to see that pop off in its full glory.
Oh yeah, I mean, we saw Umeki really lock in on that second stock, right? The defense was immaculate coming through. And like you said, along with the offense, right, he was able to stretch out that second stock, the value of that second stock for so long, got Zamba up, because Zamba had to lead that game 5, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, Umeki really utilizing Battlefield as well to try and really elongate that stock so he could make that comeback in terms of percent and really turn around on that final stock. Just great balance of that offense and that defense, and just all around fantastic play. Man, game 5, last stock, last hit. Can't get any better than that.
Amazing stuff. Like, literally, we are spoiled on this block, and we get to have one more. Team Japan, don't leave chat just yet, because, again, one of those players making their debut this weekend, he talked about it, Hurt is now going to be taking on Lima, and I'll put it this way, I expect Hurt to win this game, because this is going to be Bayonetta versus Snake. I do believe, if you ask any Bayonetta player, that they would say that this is her worst matchup, and by a large margin.
Yes, it is really, really tough. Bayonetta has to recover in different ways to the ledge because of grenade by ledge. It shuts down witch twist to ledge. So because of that, Bayo can get a little bit more predictable in disadvantage. It can be kind of hard to edge guard Bayonetta, but like Snake can just pick up so much residual damage right on the side. And of course, you have that frame 1 grenade pluck, which can make the combos for Bayo not as consistent as well. And that's what Bayo really thrives off of, right? You have some KO setups. She doesn't have a ton of them, but like up tilt the backer is going to be the main one. But Bayonetta just dishes out a lot of damage. So it doesn't really matter that sometimes it can be tough to kill sometimes, just because you do the damage. You do so much damage on hit, especially in the earlier percents, right?
Yeah, that does mean that all of your combos really need to be true because, again, frame 1 grenade pull. It's very interesting to have a character like Snake that kind of punishes people for having big hitboxes where, you know, in any fighting game, you'd love to have a big hitbox, and especially in a platform fighter where you want to cover tons of different angles and lots of space to control to shut down your opponent's movement, but that's not necessarily what this matchup is going to be about. For Lima, it's all going to be about being very selective about when he chooses to engage with Hurt, rather than saying, you know, the way that he phrases it, right? There are problem players and problem solvers as it comes, and he is going to have to be more of a problem solver in this matchup, whereas sometimes with Bayonetta, you can be more of a problem player and force your opponent to decipher your puzzle.
Right. Can you deal with ABK? Solve the problem that is air ABK, right?
Exactly.
One of the best burst options in the air. But again, Snake, so durable. I mean, honestly, it just feels like Lima's going to have to play so well. And I mean, Lima has beaten other top-level Snakes, but I mean, Hurt has just been on such a tear in Japan. And it is the debut of Hurt here in North America. We got a lot of debuts here on the side of Team Japan. We got Hurt, and we have Kanenabe as well.
Yeah, on that Fox side as well. But Lima right now, he is not quite able to take that stock. Snake's so heavy, and Hurt says, I'm all the way up. Oh my gosh, he is all the way up. He's all the way up into the blast zone. What a pickup by Lima.
And I mean, Lima is spacing everything, even the Witch Twist. Sometimes you're going to have to B-reverse it as well, because when Snake pulls the grenade, it's by his hip on the backside, right? So Lima spacing out and going for a lot of these Witch Strikes, which is just a single hit of the Witch Twist, right? So there's many ways you can line that up. That time the grenade breaking through, which is what we should be seeing a little bit later on, but Lima doing a great job right now avoiding that grenade.
And again, that's the hardest thing to do in this matchup. I know for a fact that, as anybody going up against a tough matchup would do the day before, right? Lima was playing, I think, like 4 or 5 hours against like MBD and those kinds of guys in this matchup to get ready. Seems like it paid off. He got that early stock, but without that insane punish game available, right? If he's not able to get things started, yeah, it's going to be tough to catch up to Hurt, but there he is again, staying aggressive and realizing, hey, if I can stay up there, and if he gets out of Cypher at the wrong time, he might end up in the blast zone quite so suddenly.
Yeah, and the big thing here is, can you punish these high recoveries? Snake loves to burn that double jump early and just go for the high Cypher, right? But if you can get the punish on that, the fair off the top, is it going to be enough? Yes, it is. Lima is doing exactly what he needs to do to punish Hurt's high recoveries.
I love how you were like, is that going to be enough? And Snake was, no! I'm sorry. I'm sorry, buddy. It is. You're taking a trip into the blast zone.
I'm sorry, Snake. I mean,
I'm sorry, man.
You've gotten out of a lot of situations, all right, Snake? But I don't know about this one.
I don't know how to get out of these combos. Colonel, where's the B button?
Yeah, the B button's so powerful here for Snake. And on top of that, the weight. But Lima, the weight doesn't even seem like to be a factor here.
You know, I was just considering this as I was making that joke. There's the one Lima SD per set. It is...
Get it out of the way early,
It is a necessary thing. It will happen every time. It's been a thing since Smash 4, so don't panic if you're a Lima fan. Although if you are, you already knew that was a thing, so what's there to panic about? Love the attempt at the Witch time, but Hurt was in the shield regardless, not going to get stuck out by it. Down air, breaking out of the Cypher early. What I was going to bring up earlier was say that Hurt can't really rely on the grenade pull at the top when he's about to be in the blast zone to break out of those combos, because he could just end up blast zoning himself.
If you're that high up, especially around the area that Fair is going to get the KO, yeah, absolutely, it's going to be tough. And Lima can also grab the grenades, run up to Snake, and then go for the Witch time. The back air is not going to be enough. That is the classic confirmed there for Bayonetta. But so high in the air, tries to get the ABK to scoop Hurt's legs here. Going to use the Witch time to get out. Tries to get the reset, but Hurt jump with the quick B-reverse grenade.
And Lima used 4 tilt 1, and then remembered that's not a move, so he stopped trying to combo Hurt. Now, Hurt going back into the corner, trying to get something out to knock Bayonetta up into the air. He doesn't really have any reliable confirms available at this point yet, but up tilt is getting so close to taking it.
Hurt's baiting out so much of these Witch Time, just throwing the grenade in the opposite direction, and that's going to be it. And you can see why this matchup's so tough. Lima was up an entire stock plus the SD. That's gotta hurt so much.
You saw the smile on Lima's face afterwards. That was the smile of a very high-level player realizing, oh, I just made a play that I definitely deserve to get punished for. Like,
Yeah.
ABK out of the corner, yeah, it's burst movement, but I mean, Hurt was so far that you weren't really going to surprise him with anything. And in fact, he was ready for it, detonated that C4, and it's not like he hadn't shown Lima that that was an option that he was going to go for, to try to use that C4 to call out at that timing. And again, you know, you see Lima's expression and he goes, yeah, no, I got outplayed there. Like, I definitely shouldn't have done that.
Yeah, it's tough. And I mean, that's the reason why. I mean, that last stock is what usually, like, quote unquote, usually happens in the matchup, right? Lima was still able to get some high early KOs off the top with the punishes on the high recovery. So we need to see more of that. But when you don't get those, Snake sitting at 150, 160, 170 even, maybe even higher, right? You're just trying to get that back air. And all Snake has to do is get that up tilt around like 70%, and that's a wrap.
Yeah.
So it's just so tough because Lima's going to be put in positions where you're dealing with max rage Snake, and how Lima is going to disarm that situation and make those situations not happen as often is going to be the key to victory here.
Literally disarming. Like, he's spending this entire time trying to find the blue wire or the red wire and then figuring out which wire to cut to try to defuse those grenades. I mean, like you're saying, yeah, it's a great way to put it, but fact of the matter is, Hurt is up 1-0, so Lima is going to have to fight extra hard. The currently South Carolinian Lima, if I'm not mistaken, one of the Carolinas that he's out at for college now.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I know some people were
No
confused.
Texas.
I was talking about it earlier that you know, he was playing against Peanut and they play all the time, and they were like, what? No, Lima's from Texas. No, Lima's up there for college now, very as of recently.
Okay.
So that's currently where he calls home, and if he's not careful, the Blast Zone will also be his home for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, already at 126%, and I mean, you might have caught her off guard, but a lot of these witch times not do. And Lima, you know, one of those players that when you compare Lima to someone like Bloom, Lima will go for some of the bigger swings, right? Like going for some of these smash attacks or going for some of these riskier witch times. And because of that, Hurt catching on and really baiting out a lot of these witch times. Hurt hasn't really gotten punished too hard from witch time to set yet.
Man, I mean, it really has only been when Hurt has had to, like, go off stage, go for those high recoveries and stuff like that, where Lima has really been chasing him. So Hurt's kind of changed up the game plan from, okay, like, I feel invincible, Bayonetta can't really hit me, to, oh, okay, actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of stay more grounded, stick around these platforms, and just try to maintain control of the game where Lima can't open me up at all.
And these back airs coming out from Hurt, I mean, just such a great hitbox that's really meaty here. Tries to go for the fair chain, but again, that frame one out. Quickest moves in the game are frame one.
Yeah, that is as
no
fast
frame
as
zero
it gets. That would be crazy. Comes out before you even think to press the button.
I guess that's auto turnaround.
That's dynamic controls in Street Fighter. Like, the game plays it for you.
Oh, there's a witch strike into the nair. That's going to be enough, lining up those single hits and Lima being well aware of them.
Yeah, definitely noticing those moments where, okay, like, my character is not going to function perfectly. They probably fall out of my combo. But if he does pull that grenade, I don't throw out the biggest hitbox. And like you're talking about, a single hit is going to do perfectly fine in that situation.
Oh, yeah, and even the single hit, you can get even better conversions off the single hit. You just have to be ready for them. And Lima, you know, well aware of the ways to set up single hits. So looks very aware here. Tries to get the reset into the grab here. There's the ABK, the nair not going to go into Hurt. Hurt going, DIing down and getting underneath.
Ooh, grenade. Man, the double grenade setup right there, they're both right on top of each other. That really just means Bayonetta's not getting burst movement for the next, like, 3 or so seconds because she just cannot occupy that space.
The no ABK signs are up.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's a no-fly zone. Oh, wait, never
Off the
mind.
top.
It's a fly zone for sure. He killed with fair, too. Like, that was not even the final hit.
Didn't even finish the whole Rekka.
you got wrecked. It wasn't Rekka. It was just wrecked.
Oh, not going to go into the fair there. Tries to get the dash up witch twist. Tries to get the forward smash on the Cypher. Tries to set up these edge guard situations. And I'll give it up to Lima. You have to find these scenarios where you can get to sneak in these early KOs against Snake. Doing it the old-fashioned way is not going to be fun, and this is going to be hard. You need to get past the C4. Okay, there's the directional air dodge.
I don't know if you saw it earlier. Hurt tried to bait out the early C4 detonation by just crouching.
Yeah.
And then seeing if Lima would try to take the bait, go right back to the ledge without snapping. But he is able to take the game. I mean, just build up such an early lead, such a large lead that even with Lima finding a couple of early stocks, it took such a grind to get there that, you know, Hurt just built up a ton of damage, gets that 2-0 lead, and Lima just says, hey, run it back. I don't think the stage is going to make a difference here. In fact, if anything, it's helping for the blast zones to be closer so I can get those early KOs. But if anything, you just have to play really good in this matchup to win it.
Yeah, again, one of, if not the toughest matchup here for Bayonetta. But honestly, the way Lima has been playing, you might not think it just because Lima has such a profound plan against this character. And, I mean, has taken her down to last stock every time and, you know, should have won game one. There was an SD on game one at very early percents. So very unfortunate, but now, because of that, Lima has to get the reverse 3-0 to go ahead and move on to winner's side.
That is going to be, as we said, like a mountain to climb. You know, you can call me biased if you want, you know, because Lima's one of my best friends and everything, but the fact that he makes this matchup look doable when he does stuff like that is impressive. And yeah, Lima, like I said, we already got the one SD out of the way, so no need to worry. It's already been cashed in. But yeah, able to take the lead. This is what I want to see now. How is Lima going to play with the lead, especially now that he's gotten the opportunity to see how Hurt plays? Because he had it in game one, was able to play with the lead, but didn't really know how Hurt was going to try to approach that situation. Now that Lima has some of that data, I'm interested to see if he's going to be able to maintain this lead that he has worked so hard to build.
Wow, I mean, landing going into a spot dodge maybe, but Lima has even done normal get up into Witch, the bats within. Oh, not going to get hit by up tilt. Another thing to mention as well, characters with really good crouches or crawls are also amazing against Bayonetta. And Snake has one of the best crawls in the game as well. So
I might say the best,
Yeah, so many things stacking up against Bayonetta. And especially if you have tilt stick, you can from crouch just go straight into up tilt.
Yeah, and
so
I mean, the difference in heights there, right? Like, imagine if Kirby just had, like, I don't know, Sephiroth's up tilt. Like, it's not that extreme, but it's, like, close.
Man, Hurt now taking a lot of damage. And like you said, Lima, we're seeing the strategy with the lead come into play right now, right? Lima usually kind of playing from behind. Aside from that first game, which, you know, after the SD was kind of evening up. But now, as long as Snake is on the same stock, I don't think Bayo really has the lead in this matchup unless you have a stock.
Right, yeah, because otherwise the percentage is going to build up, like it or not. You can't play passively, especially when you're down, you know, down to even stock scenarios, because yeah, Snake's going to build up that damage and put you in situations like this where if you're not careful, if you fall into one bad read, then, I mean, it's like you're saying, Charles, look at this, game's already right back to even, and Lima, his lead is evaporated.
Yeah, and Snake dash attack, Hurt is dash attacking right now because that is such a good option here for Snake. We've seen a lot of anti-air options coming through, and then Snake also low, like, goes into a crouch after the dash attack, so it can be kind of hard for characters to punish it out of shield. I mean, if Hurt's close enough, you know, obviously Lima's going to have the access to the up the out of shield, but the up tilt into the back air right at the edge, that was perfect for Lima.
Yeah, literally, and not even the sour, or not even the sweet spot, right? The sour spot was enough to do it because he set up that situation, like you said, perfectly, right at the ledge where you want it, and able to maneuver around that Nikita. Look, if you were training against MVD, you know how to get around Nikita.
Okay,
never mind. Okay, commentator's curse. That's my bad. That's my bad. I'll admit it.
versus Nikita. Which one wins? Oh, there's the witch time, but the buffered roll coming out from Hurt to avoid the grab there. Down to the final stock, even though Lima had such a crazy lead. Again, just really goes to show how tough this matchup can be. And Hurt, even though behind in so many situations, able to claw his way back.
And now we'll see Lima not able to continue combos where he normally would. I mean, Snake is at a higher percent, but those are the kinds of setups that against most other characters, in fact, I think pretty much every other character is going to take them to, you know, 80, 90% pretty much for free. It's not that Lima's dropping these combos. It's just that he can't continue them because Hurt is able to break out. But hold on a second. Trying to drift out with that Nair. It's not going to be enough to take it. But 108 on Snake. Up tilt back here near the ledge. This is about where we saw it take it last time.
Incredible DI on the second ABK. The fact that Lima wasn't able to follow up with the Nair, that Nair would have done it that close to the blast zone here. Now Hurt with another chance. Again, that dash attack. Forward throw is not going to be it, but it's going to set up a really good situation. Actually goes for the grab release to go for the high.
I thought that back air killed Lima for a second.
Yeah, I was like,
I was like, I'm just going to make sure that's not a star KO animation. Oh, but it is a KO animation here. Hurt landing that back air, catching Lima on that high recovery, and does pop off indeed. Even for a 3-0, Lima is going to make you work for it, and Hurt absolutely had to. Nonetheless, though, moves on 3-0, getting into top 32 winner side.
Yeah, amazing stuff from Hurt. I mean, again, we already noted that this was going to be it was a tough draw for Lima, and there's a lot of fantastic Bayo players that have been doing so well. Lima, definitely the highest seeded Bayonetta player. We'll see what Lima can do in the loser side of things. Hopefully not going to run into any snakes down there as well, but Hurt going to move on winner side. And man, that game 1 was so painful. Even that game 3 felt like Lima should have won, but Hurt, and again, incredible defense because Lima was able to find really early KOs, and the DI on the second ABK on that game 3 was so crazy on the left side. We might be able to see it here, but Lima able to get the KO on Snake a good amount of times, under 100%. Very impressive.
Yeah, I think that, again, it just goes to show, like, you can see the blueprints, right? Like, if this is your first time watching Lima and you don't know how good he is normally, like, you can see that he's able to land those conversions and that he's able to craft a game plan and everything. Right. But, I mean, Hurt just knows that the matchup is good. He played to that strength, and he played it really, really well, and now gets to move on, again, into top 32 winner's side as a North American debut, right? Gets to show the world exactly what that's all about.
Very impressive. I mean, first time traveling out to North America, right? And there's so many things that you have to deal with as a player that's taking a long flight. Obviously, Japan to West Coast is not as bad as Japan to East Coast. Right. So it's a little bit of grace there, but still quite the long flight. I mean, probably I would assume over 10 hours.
You're going over the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah, like I heard it's pretty large.
Yeah, it's pretty big. It's Rob's sized even. Okay, and with that terrible, I don't know why I did that. We had a good block, and then I just flipped it like a pancake right at the end. No, but thank you guys.
Block.
It was still great. I mean, Charles, lots of fun, dude. I mean, this was amazing. We got some amazing sets too. Couldn't be happier. I mean, drop him a follow. I'm sure you're already following Charles. Drop me a follow if you want to.
Drop both of us a follow. Let's go.
I mean, keep up with it, right? Because we're keeping up with the scene. I know that you guys are too. Got to be keeping up with Port. You know, I mean, it's crazy this weekend.
Yeah, you want to make sure to stay on Twitter, get all the updates, and make sure to check out all the other streams as well. We're here on the main stream, but there's also BTS Smash as well as EE stream that we got so many incredible matches going on. But we're going to get ready for the next block. Make sure to stay tuned.